What's up, everybody? It is the RP Ginger here, and we are live with session 48, titled The Storm King's Slumber. Not the Storm King's Thunder. Last we left off, the party was in the city of Luskin, trying to negotiate terms with Benigo Kurth to procure his ships to head out to the trackless sea in search of the Purple Rocks, is an island that they are looking for. In particular, they're looking for a ship called the Morkoth, which apparently has captive King Hecaton, the king of storm giants and all of giant kind. When they got to Luskin, they met a new group, a coalition formed by the Sword Coast factions to battle against the war that the giants have apparently started. And when getting into Luskin, they were negotiating terms between giving basically reinforcements to the Sword Coast coalition and procuring a ship for themselves. They partied, they woke up, and then basically slept off a massive hangover and woke up the next night and were under siege. The whole entire city was being descended upon by giant balls of adamantium, and they discovered that the fire giants have apparently come to attack the city. A massive battle was held where a fire giant dreadnought toting two massive building-sized tower shields and coming with a horde of orcs and goblins started destroying the ship. After defeating that brigade of bad guys, they headed out to the front gates where apparently the Sword Coast Coalition was being absolutely decimated and the siege engines were firing their balls of adamantium from another hard-fought battle where the entire battle was basically on the fringe of failing. The Sword Coast Coalition was brought down to, I believe, 5 soldiers, but the party, luckily, with the help of Lily Arbuckle and her Arbuckle pirates, discovered that the noble prince and princess of the fire giants could be captured and negotiated with. They negotiated the life of the fire giant prince for a retreat by the giants. The giants said that they probably had what they were here for anyways, which was apparently a piece of the Vonindod, the Titan of Death, and they left. That is where we will pick up the session, the battlefield. It's still a ice cold night. The burning embers of Luskin behind the broken down battlements and walls is basically your only source of light right now. And as you guys are beaten, bloodied, and exhausted, you look to the battlefield that you just fought on, and you see molten iron still cooling over the decimated bodies of the Sword Coast Coalition members that fought. You see hundreds of dead soldiers, hundreds of dead orcs, yakmen, and even a couple fire giants. You see burning siege engines crashed into the wall, and you look, and basically the icy breath coming from your exhausted lungs around, and you see one soldier drop to his knees and begin weeping for his fallen comrades. A female soldier comes up to him, puts his hands on his shoulders, and tries to comfort. Neverender finally comes down, and this dwarf, Neverender Brightflame, the commander of this army, you can tell he has this defeated look on him, but he goes to his 5 men that he has left out of over 100, and he says, "Men, women, we have fought hard. This battle has come at the cost of many lives, but still, we have defended Luskin. The fight is not over yet. Do not give up hope." And you see the 5 men basically come to attention and try to stay confident, but you can see that the attack has definitely wavered their strength. Lily Arbuckle looks to you all and says, "It's probably about time that we get back to the port and see how Kurth's doing. I'm sure he was able to fight off the rest of the forces, but we must see how many ships are left. Those fuckers, they blew up a lot of them." What do you guys do? Sorry, sorry, I had you muted there. You casted Beacon of Hope on the soldiers, and what does that do?
Um, yeah, I'd ask her.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it
All
just
right.
gives them some
The
kind of
spell
hope.
bestows hope and vitality. Choose any number of creatures within range for the duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically,
Just trying to bolster their
you
courage.
magically kind of this emanating radiant light comes from you, and yeah, indeed, you can tell that they do feel better by magical means, and at least for now, can relish in the fact that they survived a battle that no force that size should have won against. With many thanks to you and the Arbuckle Pirates. What is everybody else doing after this hard fought battle? You remember not too long ago running through the streets and seeing it in utter chaos. It's hard to believe that the Giants would pull out when clearly they had the upper hand, but for whatever means, they seem to be gone now. You don't hear the sounds of battle, just the burning and crumbling of the city inside. You all muted. No pressure. Everyone stands in absolute shock and horror.
Me, who's actually doing well for once, would certainly want to go and aid anyone who needed some aid. Like the best that she can do is so she's not like a mage of any sorts, or hardly a mage, and definitely not of the healing sorts. But she would want to go and make sure.
So Livy, as you're walking over, you're drawn particularly to that soldier on his knees, who was momentarily crying. The female soldier comforting him with the bolstering of Beacon of Hope. He wipes the tears from his eyes. You go over to him to see if there's anything you can do, and you look down on the ground and you see that laying under his feet is the torn and beaten body of Sir Beric, the paladin you met in Bryn Shanders so long ago. Half of his body seems terribly burnt away by the iron molten magma that the prince giant was throwing. He looks down one more time. He looks over to the female soldier and says, Beric, he was like a father to me. He's the only reason that I joined this coalition. And the female soldier replies that he was like that to most of us. And he, above all, fought particularly hard. We will not forget him.
There might be a chance for Sir Beric still. I I need to spend time with him.
What do you mean? In this condition?
I need somewhere private, and I need about 3 hours.
Perhaps the the stale the stay sail respite. Mr. Pike from the Arbuckle Pirates says, Alice, she has an infirmary there. If it survived the attack, do you really think there's anything that you can do for this man? He's in horrible conditions.
Would moving be wise? Should we find a stretcher of sorts, or make something, or could we make a pavilion here?
I know he's dead, but I'm gonna still lay my hands on him for like 10 points of healing that I'm sure I have left. And I know it's not going to heal his body. I know it's not going to bring him up from being dead, but I just want to try to heal the burns of his dead body.
Okay, so you just maybe want to like magically cauterize the wounds.
Yeah, like just like not heal them up completely, but just make the wounds at least covered and looked after. Like clean.
Mm-hmm. And to give you kind of a horrible but visual representation of what's left, his legs, basically up to his torso, have been melted away, and the right side of his shoulder is basically taken off right towards the neck. There is a severe burn hole deep into his chest where a splatter hit him. So it's quite a bit of...
Looking at him a little bit more, I would probably look up to the people and say, maybe it's better that we don't bring him back, but with a few more hours, I'm sure I could at least get a few last words out of him.
They look a bit dis- disconnected. I don't know if bringing him back in this state
I
would be proper.
And I feel like Livy would kind of catch on to what Tavios is wanting to do, and she would just add in, it's more of a making sure his spirit passes, like kind of a ritual, a sending to honor him. And so like if Tavios does like a speak with dead or something, and cleans whatever, like maybe he has final things he wants to say to his family. And so Olivia would just basically try to pass that along, and they're like, this isn't him trying to be cruel or disruptive.
Yeah, so you guys can get a spot. It's up to you where you take him. You get a quiet spot, some time to focus. How long do you need?
I don't need long. I just wanted to, spend time to actually do it properly and, like I said, clean his body and make sure he's okay and shit.
Yep. So you can take him outside, maybe even to the kind of graveyard that I imagine the city has.
Maybe
Do any
would-
spells to Ilmater so that his soul is not suffering in any way.
Okay.
And Livy would stick around and help with whatever Tavios would let her help with. If he doesn't want her to stick around, she'll go off and help wherever her help is needed.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Luskin doesn't necessarily have like
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't want to. I was gonna speak with the dead, but I'm not going to. Not gonna talk to him or anything. I'm just gonna let him go. I don't think there's really anything he can tell us.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not like he would keep secrets from you anyway. So he probably would have told you. So you basically take him. You look around for like a graveyard or something, and you discover that Luskin doesn't particularly have a graveyard. What they traditionally do is load a pyre on the river, and they send them out to the sort of seas, burning out, back returning to the ocean, where many of them believe they owe their lives to anyways. It's kind of like a Luskin trait. So that's an option to do, and you prepare his body and do so. You remember the times that you spent with Sir Barrick. It wasn't necessarily for a long time, but you did fight in Bryn Shanders. You guys traveled to even the Frost Giants base. You definitely spent some time with him, so you lamentate on the moment and give him a proper send-off, making sure that his spirit can rest easy. Another soldier lost in the war against these giants. Lily gives you the proper time, the Arbuckle crew, and as you begin to walk through the streets, you see Lily in particular goes particularly quiet as she walks through, and there's this scene as the fiery embers of the city kind of illuminate you walking down the streets. You remember even hours ago that Luskin was a completely different city than you remember your first time being there. It was kind of a slum pirate city the very first time around, and then within a month or so they really turned it around to this city that was starting to look up. But now as you're walking through the streets, many of the buildings crumbled with the adamantium boulders just ruptured through many of the buildings, dead bodies laying on the streets, people crying. You just see Lily walking, her head down, her fists hard clenched, white knuckled, and not very much of a word is spoken. Her crew basically shadows her. No one says a word as you walk through the streets and see the horror that these giants brought. If nobody does anything, you would discover along the way that the Stay Sail Respite, the infirmary, has also been destroyed. Many of the civilians have been apparently captured and taken away by the Yak folk. Alice did survive, luckily, so there is a priest to take care of those that are there, but the city took some hard hits, and a lot of people were captured to what means you don't really know. You finally get to the port, and you see the Kurth pirates, and Kurth in particular, walking around and stabbing their swords and glaives through the bodies of the corpses, the orcs, the goblins, and the fire giants, making sure they're dead, and many of the crew trying to put out the fires that many of the ships are on. As you look around, you remember seeing this port and just hundreds of sails absolutely encasing the entire port. There was not a speck of water that you can see, just ships. And now there's like this absolutely decimated whole wreckage through the center line of the river where debris and burning wood and ships crumble now. There's actually a big portion of the water that's been opened up. They at least took half of the ships out in this attack. Kurth, pulling his glaive out of the neck of a fire giant, looks to you and says, "So it seems like your part was successful, or as successful as it could be. What happened? The giants just retreated. They were starting to get the upper hand, and I didn't think we'd be able to hold them off. And then suddenly, they just left. Doesn't make sense." Was that you guys?
In a way.
Well, Neverander's with you, and he goes up to Neverander. Kurth, this monster of a man, 7 foot tall, this big curly white mustache, ripped chest with muscles and scar. He just towers over Neverander the dwarf, who now in this current state seems to be a diminished man, even smaller than his dwarf stature would normally stand. And he looks down on Neverander and he says, "Bright Flame, what is the next move?" Neverander, kind of looking down, not making eye contact with him, says, "We weren't expecting this. Not this soon. We may have held them off, but this is the defeat. My coalition, my platoon, we were supposed to reinforce the north. We only have 5 men." Kurth slams his glaive down into the ground, and he says, "What is your move, Neverander? These giants, they took something from me. They took my family. They took my ships. But they made the mistake of leaving me alive. No one steals from the King of Sails and gets away with it. Don't make me ask you again. What is the next plan?" Neverander finally looks up and makes eye contact with this behemoth of a man. He sees the seriousness in his eyes and realizes that he should not be questioning himself in a time like this, and he clears his throat. "We'll need ships to get to Neverwinter. I'll send word of the attack that the fire giants did, and I'll demand reinforcements. We will rebuild Luskan as our stronghold. The giants may have took us by surprise in this moment, but with proper planning and proper countermeasures, we can hold out here. I'll need your ships, though."
There is another way. We need to find Hecaton. We can stop this war before it gets any worse.
Kurth looks to Neverander first and says, "I will give you my second general, and you can begin planning your actions immediately. To you, Ren, what do you need from me? A ship? They took many of ours, but my main ship, the Kurth, is still ready and able. Where are you going?"
What was the name of the place that we were headed? I know there was an island.
Purple Rocks.
I knew something about purple.
Yeah. He tells you that is
I'd like to warn and be like, "You still have that flag? Maybe we can make this even faster."
Of course.
Purple Rocks is a long voyage, my friends. It's past the Sea of Swords and into the bowels of the trackless sea. Even with my best ship, I would say a 20-day travel on ideal weather. Unless you have means of flying my ships, I think that's the best I can do.
I can speed them up a bit.
Well, if the weather permits, then we may be able to make it in less than 20. But I would at least prepare for that. Lily finally speaks up and says, "What do you even think finding that giant king is going to truly do? You think that a king can stop these big lumbering fools? It all seems like a pretty stupid idea to me." Kurth actually looks to Lily and smiles and says, "Lily, a true ruler can bring even the most untamable of creatures to heel. Look around. Look at these men." And he motions to all the pirates, who are all working in unison now. Usually an unruly, hard to manage and just brutal being are all working in unison now under obviously the flag of Kurth. And he says, "If this king is a true king, then Octavius is right. He may be our only hope."
This chaos only came about because the king went missing.
Well, if you have any things to acquire or plan before we leave, then do so now. We'll rest for the night, and we'll set sail in my ship. I will spare my main center flag ship for you guys. You'll set sail under my main crew, while the second general and Neverender begin making plans to head to Neverwinter and bring reinforcements and supplies. Is there any other questions or concerns? Well then, rest easy, my friends. Tonight was a hard-fought night, but we will not surrender when the flames go down. We will rise from the ashes and make the fire giants pay for what they have done to us, and make them pay for not ending the King of Sails.
I could use some supplies. What about you guys?
Perhaps I have to look over what I got. But yes, I could use a bit of things.
It's up to you.
Pancake making materials.
Pancake. Get it. That's going to be a long sail. Lots of pancake supplies will be needed. Most of that can be dealt with for you. You don't really need to go out and shopping. Any general supplies are easily picked up. As you
I want
go,
to get some armor if I can.
yeah, definitely. What armor are you looking for?
I want to get some plate mail.
Plate mail. All right. Shouldn't be an issue. Let's see what we got here.
I have some cash, so
Yeah, I imagine. How much cash you got on you?
yeah, 100 gold at least, 273 silver, 300 copper.
Yeah, should be fine. Let me just see here. They'll actually just give it to you on the account that the city owes you. So go ahead and add plate mail to your thing, full plate. I will actually add it to your inventory.
I might even want Livy to upgrade to like a chain shirt potentially.
Yep, that's fine too. Octavius, I'm going to delete your chainmail, and
Livy takes his.
yeah, you can sell it back. Plate, and then what do you want, Livy? A chain
Chain shirt.
chain shirt. All right. Go ahead, and that will give you 13 AC base with a +2 potential on your dex if you have a +2 dex.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll give you 15 AC.
Can I double check real quick? Make sure that's like, hang on, that taps her out. Technically, she'll still do better with studded leather. Like, I guess you're putting it on and be like, meh.
Not
Nope.
quite what I was looking for. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
As you guys are going out through your day collecting your supplies, or actually through the night, last minute supplies, you're actually met with a man, this tall kind of looking thin man with this cloak on, this red deep auburn cloak that kind of has this almost rectangular, sharp shape to it. Its shoulder pauldrons kind of point up to the dark sky, and he has this long brown neatly kept beard that kind of goes down to his chest in a point. He has these big furry bushy eyebrows that almost kind of seep over his eyes, wrinkled face, and he walks with a staff, and he looks to Kurth and you guys and says, I'm assuming you would wish to know why the giants called off their attack. Kurth looks over and says, Kuzan, it's been a while since you've come down from your tower. What is the occasion? And this Kuzan replies, well, Kurth, there's not much of a tower left after the giants came. It appears that they were looking for an artifact that we were studying. It was an ancient giant artifact from the Ostoria times. A piece of adamantium, a piece of the Vonendod. You wouldn't have happened to heard of what the Vonendod is, would you have?
I want to make a history check to see if Octavius read it before he ever went on this trip.
Do it with advantage too, because you actually speak giant, and Vonendod is a giant word.
Oh, that's a 15.
15? Nice.
Oh, 5.
5.
Not a 15. 5.
5.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
No
I read
worries.
that wrong.
Yeah, so
I read that.
you at least know what it translates to, the Titan of Death, which you've heard already before. And then when Kuzan's looking around, says, oh, no one has studied. Well, not too surprising. It's an old and ancient tale. You see, Ostoria was a time before men really walked the earth. It was a civilization the giants once had, one of the greatest civilizations of all time, before us small folk, as they call us, came to rule over the city, over the world's Faerun. The giants were above all else in their empire called Ostoria, and one artifact in particular was the Vonendod, how do we put this? Well, it translates to exactly what it is, a Titan of Death, an instrument the giants used to basically decimate and almost bring to extinction the dragons. It appears, to our surprise, we didn't really know what we had until it was too late, that we had a piece of it, and the fire giants are, to my horror, looking to rebuild it. They took what they proclaimed to be the last piece. Now, the good news, or potentially bad news, is they still need the soul of a primordial to fuel the Vonendod. I sent out word to many of my scholars and scouts, and to my horror, a few months ago, drows assaulted Gauntlgrim and stole the primordial soul from their forge. A little bit too much of a coincidence, if you ask me. So, by my scout's word, you lot plan to end this uprising. If you have any means to do so, I recommend you do so quickly, because if the Vonendod is reconstructed and brought back to this plane, then truly the fire giants might destroy this world.
Just sounds like it keeps getting better and better.
On the contrary, my friend, that's just one of the giants' schemes. They all are doing something. Fire giants, frost, hill, stone, they all seek to bring an end to the world. It's only a matter of time before one of them succeeds.
We must get the Hecaton. We have to put all of our eggs in that one basket. We have to go soon.
Yes. Well, my name is Kuzan the Red. I was the Archmage and ruler of the Host Tower. My tower has now been destroyed. All of my work basically ruined, but if there's anything you need from me before setting out, do let me know, and I will try to assist.
You should just come with us. It would be beneficial to have you and your knowledge.
Beneficial, yes, perhaps, but I am a busy individual, and I will be needed here. I wish to see if I can track the fire giants and send out a force and slow them down.
Be careful.
You as well. And he goes to walk away. So, as long as you guys are content with what you got done, then we will long rest. Last chance to take care of anything before you set out to sail.
Any chance I might be able to find a pearl of, what do they call it? Power, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, pearl of power. Basically, it stores a third level spell.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Warrendale, as you talk to Octavius, you'll realize that he has one. So he hands it over to you.
Perfect. That was easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I need to delete it from my inventory.
All right. Yeah, you get a pearl of power. Anything else?
Nope, that's all I was hoping for.
Cool. All right. So you sleep off the night. You wake up in the crisp, cold winter morning. The Kurth's flagship, titled the Kurth, he's really creative at naming his ships, is made ready. You and his crew of 15 pirates look ready to sail. Go ahead, Warrendale.
It is a beautiful ship. You should perhaps name it the Warrendale. I think it would fit it quite well.
That seems like too scrawny of a name for a ship of this size.
I would give him the pendant, though, which gives it like a double speed to at least help us on our way.
Yeah, awesome. Then you would do so. Lily Arbuckle shows up, and Kurth says, Lily, this isn't a voyage for you. It's gonna get dangerous out there. And she says, like hell, Kurth. You've been blocking me for long enough. You told me I couldn't set sail until I was a year older. But the world's coming to a bloody end. I might never get to sail again. Please, let me come. Ask Warren. If it wasn't for me and my men, they would have been defeated at the gates. Tell him, Warren. Tell him I'm ready.
Well, I don't know if you're really ready for this. I mean, what's going on at the gates and what this is, it's like two different things. I don't know.
She kicks you in the shin.
You know we might not be coming back from this, Warren.
Oh, I don't intend to. That's quite fine with me.
You can't be serious. You don't really plan to leave me alone. You guys think you can go off and save the world and find this mighty king and not do it with me? What the hell am I supposed to do?
Don't you think you'd be better suited here, helping the city, helping these people that you grew up with, these people that you care for?
She bites her lip in frustration. Kurth kneels down and says, Lily, I would take you on this voyage if I thought it was going to return. But where we're going, I don't really know where it ends. And if I am taken down, then that leaves no one to run Luskin. I haven't been training you to be the Queen of Sails so that we can both go out to sea and pass away. I'm getting old now, Lily. I need you here. I promise if I come back, you'll be on the next sail. She, frustrated, completely disagrees, saying that she's absolutely not coming until Kurth stands up and says, Lily, this is not a request. It is an order from the King of Sails. To not comply is treason. She steps back from the gangplank, looking at Kurth with anger in her eyes once again. They board the ship, and unless you guys do anything else, the gangplank will be kicked.
I will say to Lily, but you can give us all your pirates.
She says, like hell.
We could use the help.
Bite me.
I want the guy with the barrels. Seems like he pulls them out of his ass someplace.
Get your own
I
crew.
find that quite hilarious.
Candyman pulls out an explosive casket from behind yet again and smiles and says, "No offense, Kurth, but she's our captain. We go where she goes." And he tips his hat and says, "I'm sorry, Lily. I'm going to try real hard to get back to you, but if not, take care of Luskin."
Just think, you can, instead of being the Princess Queen of Luskin, you can be the Queen.
As you guys begin to unfurl the sails and take off, you hear her flip you guys off one last time. And as you begin to get distance from the port, you hear her yell out one last time, screaming at you, Warren, "Warren!" And as you turn around or not turn around, you hear her yell out, "Don't let him die! Bring him back to me!"
I think she likes me.
Yeah, how? Sort of peer across the water towards her or whatever, but I want to give her that promise, but that's... I'll try my best sort of look.
Yeah, and as you look at her, Kurth comes stepping beside you, and he does whisper under his breath, "Don't make a promise you can't keep. She won't forgive you."
Don't intend to.
All right, and you guys begin to sail out. We're not going to go through each and every day here because this is a literal 20-day voyage, give or take, with the pendant of Vin wrapped around as the flagship Jolly Roger with the Kurth Jolly Roger in tow. It does double the speed of the ship, so to Kurth's surprise, the fastest ship in the Sea of Swords is even quicker. And I imagine even though it's like a full galleon, or not quite a galleon, but like a frigate pirate ship, it's actually like just ripping through the waves like a speedboat, just skipping over the waves, magically imbued by the giant's rune of Vin, wind. The journey is abruptly slowed down, though. After about 10 days at sea, you begin to hit absolutely terrible weather. Waves as high as buildings, storm and lightning licking across the sky like a demon's fury. For about 5 days straight, this weather does not break. Luckily for you, you're sailing with some of the best pirates that have ever sailed the seas, so that they handle the weather. But even on the 5th day, you guys come out beaten, soaking wet. It has not stopped torrentially pouring for days now. This icy cold sleet rain out in the middle of ocean. As far as you can see, it's just black sky and lightning and waves that momentarily take out the horizon and then crash down. You're rising and sinking multiple stories as you're whipping through these waves. You're no longer able to use the pennant of Vin because you would risk absolutely destroying the mast and whatnot. And on the 6th day, Kurth comes to you guys, and it's hard to even hear yourselves. And as you're all just having to stabilize your weight from being shifted over, waves are crashing over the ships, threatening to wash over crewmen. Everyone's basically tied down the second they come to the top deck. You're tied down to a rope so that you can't be washed over. And Kurth says, yelling over the storm, "Something's not right. I haven't seen a storm like this last for this many days." This gale force wind threatens to blow over many of his men, but he just stands in the center of the deck, not even phased, not tied down at all. He walks up to the deck as if the wind's not even phasing him at all, as everybody else is just gripping on for dear life. And he goes to the wheel as 3 of his men are just trying to like force the wheel to stop it from getting carried by the waves. He just one arm grabs the ship and begins to turn it back to course. "None of our navigation is working. We're just basically sailing by our instincts at this point. Compass has stopped working about 2 days ago. This isn't a normal storm.
We do kind of have some enemies that might be of the storm giant persuasion.
As a storm sorcerer, can I tell what it's coming from, or if it's the nature of it? I guess.
You can make an Arcana check, unless you have any other means to divinate weather.
No, not really. Just as my background. Arcana's 13.
13. So with a 13, there's definitely the sense of arcane work here. You can't pinpoint it by any means, but you feel it in the air. This is a different type of energy, and it is a powerful one. Magic is at work here to make this weather, and to be on this force, you maybe get a shiver down your spine to think who or what could be behind channeling such a powerful, angry phenomenon. It is the 6th day, or the 16th day into the voyage now, though, and as the Kurth battles the storm day after day, you know that the Purple Rocks and the Morkoth should be around. It's time to start looking for it or discerning it. But with the compasses being down and basically Kurth just sailing by his own instincts, heading north in the direction that he needs to, or west, I think it is actually, now that I think about it, west, it becomes a skill or a test now for you guys to track down and see what means you guys can. You're basically going to be sailing around now until you use your skills or abilities to help assist in finding the Purple Rocks and or the Morkoth. Does anybody have anything that they would like to try in this tsunami-like storm? Otherwise, it's just going to rely on Kurth's sailor instinct to eventually find you. Lily got Lily.
An idea would be that Livy's running around doing her best to try and assist, taking in, like, especially in the first 10 days when it was calmer weather, of just like how to help with ship maintenance and whatnot. And so I can see her maybe up in the sails with her acrobatics being so wonderful, helping maintain things, looking out, like being up there. Maybe she noticed something, but I would say her acrobatics check of helping out up in the rigging and whatnot.
Yeah, go for it.
Okie dokie. Do. Oh, nope, Mary, you gotta grab that and toss it. And 21. I like
Awesome.
this.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
I'm going to.
Tell me if I passed or whatnot.
I just want to I want to see everybody else, and then I'll kind of narrate what happens after we all kind of chip in.
Octavius is going to go to the side of the ship. He's going to grab onto the wood, and he's going to start praying for as long as it takes. He's going to channel divinity into the power of his spell as he casts freedom of movement on the boat so that it can settle down in this crazy storm, and hopefully somebody can get a good view, or we might be able to sail it in a way where we can get a better bearing so that we have a better idea on how to find the island.
Awesome. All right, that's not really a check that you need to make, opposed to just something that happens, so that's cool. What's Warrendell and or Reich Liviant doing to contribute to this journey?
Warrendell will make his way up to the front of the ship where Kurth is at, handling the steering. As a storm guide, I can cause 20-foot radius of sphere around me to stop raining, and I can also control the winds in a 100-foot radius around us. So I'll do that with Octavius's own freedom of movement, giving us a little bit clearer with the rain, starting to let up a little bit around us, and causing the winds to die down just a little bit here in the waters, to try and get a little bit of a better handle on where we're at and what's around us.
Awesome. That happens also. No check needed. That just counts as a success. Reich, do you want to put anything? Do you have any kind of contribution? You are extremely quiet, my friend. I can barely even hear you. Is that just me, or is everybody can't hear him?
He's quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's way better.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
I don't know what happened there. That was weird. All right. Yeah, I don't have much. I think that I think I'd like to try to do this. I am going to also be up there with with Kurth and Warren, and I'm gonna put my hand on Kurth, and I'm gonna say, "You know the way, brother. I know you do." And I'm gonna use augury to see if we're heading in the right direction. Well, I'm gonna use augury, and the question is going to be: are we heading in the right direction to get to the Purple Rocks?
Awesome. Yep. So
And then you give me that wheel and woe stuff.
absolutely. So Lily acrobatically, you were using your acrobatics to basically get to the top, right, and like take a lookout position. Is that what I? Now that's been so long. I actually.
She's helping out up
Yeah.
in the sails, and
Yeah.
because she's up there,
Yeah, gotcha. So Warrendell channels his sorcerer origins and begins to hold his hands out to the skies and command and fight against the storm, momentarily blocking out the rain and calming the waves. Freedom of movement radiates from Octavios, now bringing the ship down to a more controllable means. Kurth eases as he gets control over the wheel of the ship, and with the help of Liviant standing beside him, using augury as he disconnects from the call, he gets the feeling of a wheel, which I believe means you are heading in the right direction. And with that all kind of connecting, Kurth points out with Livy kind of calling out first that she thinks she sees something in the distance. And as you do point that out, he begins to sail for it. And then suddenly, as if you just basically went through a veil, the storm just completely stops. The water goes calm and still, more still than an ocean should ever be. And you just penetrate into this white veil, which you do realize in the kind of darky, stormy sky is a thick fog. And as you look behind, you see like almost like a line has been drawn in the ocean. The wavy ocean continues just like instantly beyond this foggy veil. But now, as you enter into it, the water still as glass. You drop down the sail and there's no wind to pick it up, and you slowly just begin to sail forward. No current taking you, but yet you still move forward. And through the fog, I'm going to say somebody with a high enough perception, passive perception, begins to see this blacky, shadowy, tentacle-like figure rupturing out from the still glass dark water. And you momentarily think that what beast this might be, but realize as you get closer in that it is a sharp, jaggy, black rock. And then as you begin to steer the ship, it just seems to follow the wheel for whatever reason. There's no wind pushing the sail, but the ship just listens to Kurth for whatever reason. Actually, the reason would be the pendant of Vin is actually, I guess now that I think about it, what is controlling it. And you steer to the left, and you begin to see more of these jaggedy rocks sticking out. Kurth looks to you all and says, "I believe now we are deep in the trackless sea. These rocks you see are part of the Purple Rocks. The Morkoth should not be far now if it is around these parts." And you begin to navigate through this almost mall-like fragments of rocks. The ship has to steer left and right to pinpoint accuracy to navigate around all these jaggedy, sharp rocks that would threaten to sink a ship. Kurth does so with expertise. You're glad now that you have him. And the thick fog begins to clear up to a more translucent form as you get deeper and deeper into the heart of the Purple Rocks. I'll need you all to make a perception check.
"13 on mine."
13. 22. Impressive.
22.
22.
I got a 22. You got a
Nice.
2.
Livy?
I got 14.
14.
Yeah, I got it too.
You hear it first, Octavius. It's quiet now. Only the gentle sound of the water kind of passing by the ship and the sails blowing from the magical ruin is what can be normally here. But in the distance, Octavius, you faintly make out a terrible shrieking noise. And then the sound of what sounds like scratching, as if somebody took stone to wood and just dragged it across. It kind of echoes out, and you just briefly hear it. You point it out, and you begin to sail in that direction. And in the distance, you make out what looks like the silhouette of another ship. But it's not the shape of any ship that you've ever seen before. It doesn't make sense. The front end of the ship is almost large and triangular looking, and then the rest of it is narrow and just almost kind of looks like an arrow. And as you're trying to, Octavius, with a 22 look, you see in the back almost what you think propelling it maybe, and then you hear a splash, and something from the back of the ship kind of whips out and pulses into the water. You're about 120 feet away. You see on the front end of the ship 2 winged silhouettes perched on it.
Prepare yourselves.
How do you wish to approach?
Prepare yourselves. Something is coming, and there are more. Let's go. Yeah.
Alright, Kurth looks to you all and says, so is it a full frontal assault then?
No stopping us now.
Alright, men. You heard him. Full speed. And then he says, if you have any juice left in that flag, now's the time to use it.
I'm going to use, if it's cool. Can I ready an action?
Yeah, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. It's on you right now. They haven't noticed you, or at least you don't know if they've noticed you or not.
I would like to ready an action. And as soon as I see something coming at us in the water, or something land in front of us, then I would like to attack.
All right. Anybody else readying any kind of actions?
Maiden's Garden is definitely within grab and shoot.
All right.
I'm taking a shit.
All right. Nice. He's below deck taking care of business. Everyone else is getting ready to grab.
Well, I rolled a 1.
All right. Kurth turns the sail and gets ready to basically sail towards the ship. And as you do so, you begin to see the fog dissipate around it. And what you see as you come into this ship is a bizarre-looking sea vessel. The head of it reminds you of a giant squid, and the back half of it seems to be stabilized by these tentacle-like, tentacles and some kind of stabilizing fin in the back. And you see that on the half of it there is these 2 actual tentacles basically treading through the water. And on the front end squid half of the ship you see 2 large stone gargoyles. Also you see the silhouettes of many individuals on the ship, some of which are manning ballistas, and they do see you coming. So it's at this point that I will get you guys to roll initiative. And I'm going to share a map in a second. Do 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 do. All right, all right, all right. Let me get all my boys in the party. I gotta admit, I didn't think we were gonna go for the direct head-on assault, but we will have some fun.
Well, I'm still in the shitter
Yeah,
because I rolled another one.
nice. Hey, get them out
I
now.
I
So
decided.
that's a 2.
I decided to go join him because I rolled a 1 too.
Hey,
You need any help down there? I'm all out of TP. I can't find it anywhere in this place.
It's hard to find and overpriced.
yep. Okay.
Pretty sure this ship has a bidet. Come on, guys, get with the time.
Yeah. It's Kurth's most prized ships.
Yes, but salt water leaves a crust.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I almost got all my initiative taken care of. I just gotta find Mr. Kurth. Where are you? Hey,
Mine's a 4 total, actually. But
4. All right, I gotta get you in 4. What did you roll total, Recliviant? 2. Okay, and then I will share a map. Share sheets. Should pop up for you guys if I'm not mistaken. Morgan, I guess you'll have to look at the YouTubes to see the map because I can't screen share on this Zoom right now. It'll just like crash my Streamlabs.
oh, that's cool. I will hop over there.
All right. So that is indeed what it looks like. And you see basically on the top half of the deck, there seems to be multiple tiers to it. You can't see what's below, so you guys get a little bit more knowledge than you should have because you only see the cultists on the top. But you see a man, most of them in dark robes and tattooed. You see the gargoyles, and then Warrendell, as you guys get closer and ready to assault, you would see a individual that you recognize as Thultz, which was the wizard that you guys battled with and polymorphed Sarissa into her human form. He was the one that assaulted and turned many of the passengers into stone zombies, basically. He's also on board this ship, apparently. First up in the initiative, as the ship is about to crash into this Morkoth, is Livy. You are about 30 feet away now. What do you wish to do?
That's a really good question. So it does look like they are being hostile, yes?
As they see you coming, the gargoyles look like they're beginning to flap their wings and fly. You can't see it because the tokens are on it, but there's 2 ballistas pointed on your direction. And then on the other side of the ship, they're currently trying to wheel them around and point them in your direction also.
She's going to certainly ready Maiden's Garden.
Yep.
As soon as anything, like any attack happens, she is going to pew pew, whether at whoever's or someone near a ballista or gargoyle, depending on which acts first.
All right, you're ready in action. Next up is one of the cultists, and he is going to basically, as soon as I figure out what he is, use the rest of his action to spin around the ballista on the southern side of the ship. What is left and right again? I always forget this. I should know better by now. Left is starboard or
Port. And starboard.
Port. So port is left, starboard is right.
Yeah.
So he is going to starboard side, I guess, point the ballista at you, and he doesn't fire it yet. But next up is another one who does the same thing. We're going to be going through a lot of actions here. 17 is going to then jump down and fire a ballista at the ship. So Livy, that would proc your action. I guess who else had a readied action? I think Octavius, you said you were readying something?
Yeah, I had already action.
All right, so go ahead.
I'll let Livy go first.
Queen's Garden. Boink. No, wait, that's damage, right? Goodness gracious.
Let me know what you roll. Let me know what you roll.
Yeah. Well, I should be rolling that. Did not go? Try this again. There we go. Double click.
Double click.
20.
20 hits.
Excellent. And let's have it be fire.
All right, yeah, he goes to pull the trigger on the ballista, but not before a fiery bolt from Maiden's Garden files out, sailing through the air and hitting him in the neck, knocking him overboard. He is taken down.
How close are we to this thing?
At the end of the round, it is going to basically hit, and you're going to commence boarding.
So you'd say we're within 60 feet right now?
30 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a flaming sphere at the other ballista people.
Okay.
And try to hit them with 15. Dex save 15.
Dex 15. How big is that? That is a 5-foot radius. As you begin to cast that out, though, that is a what level spell? 2nd level spell. Thult's Dagger Dark holds up his hand and channels out a spell and will cast Counterspell to stop that from going off.
Ooh.
He don't want none of that. And Counterspell is a 3rd level spell, so I'm going to knock off one of his slots. Alright, that's his reaction. Gargoyle is now up. It is going to fly up into the air and come towards you, Livy. It has multi-attack. It is going to...
No, it doesn't.
Go ahead.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It this stone gargoyle comes squealing at you. It's the same noise that Octavio's heard. And
Am I within reach of her?
Sure.
Okay, so I believe with Sentinel, when a creature within 5 feet of me makes an attack against a target other than me, I can use my reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature.
Go for it.
I would like to do that, please.
All right, you do that as it does that.
I only got a 10 for a hit.
10 misses. It comes in, Livy, with a claw attack. You roll over to the side, lifting up your Maiden's Garden into fire, but as you do so, it's already descended upon you, and it bites into your arm, rolling a 20 to hit if you can't defend against that.
So you said multi-attack. I was just hoping to hear all the hits, but she will do a shield spell. She does that roll over, aims, and sees that she's about to be overpowered, and shield. Boom, for 21.
It chomps down and bites into arcane defenses as no damage is done. Kurth shouts out for his men to get ready to board, and he will use his action to inspire his men, giving them all advantage on the next round. He's going to maintain the wheel, though, so that this doesn't go bad. Next up is Thultz, the dark wizard, and he is going to have so many options that it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
And he is going to use a pretty terrible one. As all of Kurth's men get ready to jump over, grabbing onto the ropes and the planks to commence the boarding, Thultz is going to begin to channel some dark words of power. And I'm trying to find the spell here, sorry. Begins hand gesturing and tracing out forbidden runes and 10 creatures of his choice. He's going to do it on all 10 of the pirates that he can see that are getting ready to jump over. And they have to make an intellect saving throw against his DC. So let's see here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jesus. And his DC is a total of, I'm not going to tell you, but only 1 succeeded. And that means that they're going to take Okay, so this basically he unleashes a torrent of dark psychic energy, and as all the men are on the ropes getting ready to swing their scimitars ready, they're eager to go into battle, this just pulse of black psychic energy washes over like a shockwave emanating from him, and as it gets to the men, they begin to just start quivering. Some of them drop the scimitars, drop the ropes, go down to their knees, and they start screaming in agony, grabbing at their ears and yelling as if something is just screaming into their ears, possibly louder than they could ever withstand hearing. And then to your horror, all 10 of their heads explode and they're dead. 10 men killed in an instant by Thultz. Next up is a cultist who is going to finally fire the ballista. He is going to fire it at... that's a dex saving throw from you guys to see if you can dodge it.
Wait, all of us?
Yeah.
I got a 6.
Is it a dex save?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a 10.
10.
19.
19. Actually, I am very stupid. Sorry, it's not a. It's a single range attack. That makes sense. I don't know why I would have thought a ballista. I was thinking of a siege engine. I was thinking of something else. Sorry. So it's gonna make an attack against 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see who it's going to hit. It's gonna go for Reich Liviant, and it rolls a. Oh my God, a critical. So, unless you have some magical means to defend against a 26, you are going to take 22 piercing damage, Mr. Reich Liviant. I'm assuming you
I
do.
don't really want to do that. That sounds like a terrible idea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. And this week, I'm going to do my damage rate because I was only half as hurt as I thought I was because I didn't take any of the half damage.
Yeah. So yeah, when you're raging, you take half damage, eh?
Yeah, and I didn't do that last time. So, but yeah, this time I'm taking a 22.
All right. Next up is a gargoyle who takes off and flies and starts attacking some of Kurth's men. There's only 5 left now, and he is going to bite and claw, and he hits and does not a buttload of damage, but he kills one more of Kurth's pirates, bringing him down to 4 men. Kurth yells out, "Hold, man! Breach coming!" And next up is another person who is steering the ship. You don't know who he's called yet, but his name's Rule. I guess we'll just say that because he's in the initiative. He begins to counter steer the ship, and as he does so, you see the tentacles in the back half of the ship begin to whip up, and they're going to come crashing down on top of the ship, Kurth's ship, and that is basically going to do some damage to the ship. That will need a dexterity saving throw from you guys. For real this time.
16.
16's good. 18's good.
2.
2 is not so good. Yeah.
Is this a saving throw?
Yeah, saving throw.
All right.
No worries, no pressure. It's not like a giant ship tentacles coming at you.
16.
16's good. So only Octavius fails and takes 7 damage. Everybody else completely jumps out of the way. Next up is a cultist on the other ballista, and he's going to fire it at Kurth, actually, because he's a big bad dude. And 16 to hit. Does that hit Mr. Kurth? I can't remember. Let me see if we can find him. 16 does hit Kurth. So that means Kurth takes a total of that much damage as a ballista comes through the air sailing at him. He tries to catch it. out of air, but it's literally like a massive ballista bolt. So it starts slipping through his hand and penetrates into his chest just a little bit. Next up is Octavius Wren. The ship is moments away from hitting now, but you're literally waiting till the end of the turn for it to collide. So it's up to you if you have any means to close the distance. But
Is the gargoyle made of stone?
Gargoyle is indeed made of stone. One is on Livy, and one is harrying the pirate crew.
Okay, the one with the pirate crew, I'm going to cast Shatter on.
Okay. It has to make a Constitution saving throw, I believe.
Of 15, yeah.
All right, let's see what it does.
You'd have disadvantage on it too.
I have disadvantage on it too. Well, I rolled a 2 as the first roll, so I'm going to roll that because I don't really think it matters if I roll worse than that. So it failed.
All right. Well, the creature is made of inorganic such as stone. He has disadvantage on his saving throw. Yeah, okay, that's why. Okay. And the damage for Shatter on this fantastic beast is 18.
18 damage. Very nice. All right. A shattering force of energy emanates from you as you clap your hands together and just burst away chunks of this gargoyle. It's still standing and ready. Reels out in pain, but
At that point, I will run and lodge myself in between the gargoyle that is on Libby.
okay, absolutely. Octavius positions himself in between that gargoyle and Livy. Next up, as you bang together your hammer and shield, trying to egg it on, is... I lost myself in the initiative. There's a lot going on here. Another guard on the ballista. He is going to fire it at Kurth again. This time hitting him once more. Another bolt, and as the first bolt is in his hands trying to catch it, he's completely not able to prepare himself for the second one, and another one sinks into his arm. Now as he tries to get out of the way, it clips into his bicep and cuts him pretty deeply, but he's still okay. Next up is another cultist on board who is going to ready in action to engage when you guys finally collide. Warrendell, you're up next.
What? Okay, so I'm looking at the YouTube map. What are the C's?
C's are the cultists.
Okay, and what's the R?
R is the guy steering the ship, and then the other guy beside him is Stoltz.
Okay, and where are the ballistas? They look like they're right next to the C's there?
So the C's are standing on them, and then on the backside, you see how I just moved the tokens?
YouTube's slow. It's like lagging behind, but
Yeah,
I got it.
I'll move them so that you can see them better.
So the front of the ship there that has the 4 little C's, there's ballistas there, correct?
Yeah, 2 and 2 on the front, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
All right, perfect. So I will take a step forward, kind of beside up where Kurth is. You can see these winds start buffering around me. Is it really windy, or is the storm still going or anything?
No, now that you passed this like weird foggy veil, the storm has stopped completely now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can all feel the wind pick up a little bit. I too am going to do Shatter, but I'm going to cast it on the ballista itself, or like right in the center of those C's. I guess it kind of looks like a triangle on mine. I don't know if it's still the same way, but right in the middle guy.
Okay, so in the front or the back?
The back middle guy, because it has a 10-foot radius, so it'll catch all 4 of them and the ballistas.
Yep, sounds good. And they all need to make a con save, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so let me
What's my thing? I think it's 17. My save DC, yeah.
All right, let me get everybody up that I need to get up. It's gonna take me a couple seconds here. Okay, he's there. They're there. All right, so con save first from the cultists. We got a fail, a fail, fail, and a fail. Now for Rule, the ship's captain, we got a fail. Fultz, the arc wizard, has a super big sheet. He is going to succeed, and the ballistas just auto fail.
Right. And is there any? How far away are the gargoyles from me, or whatever's Tech and Livy? Is she right beside us?
I imagine they're like you're not engaged with them unless it's kind of your call where you guys were standing.
If I can get a little bit closer to one, because if there's anything within 10 feet of me, they too have to make a save.
Interesting. Yep, sure. You can get by the one that Livy is standing beside. That doesn't affect your friends though.
Creatures of my choice that are within 10 feet of me.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, it fails too.
All right. So, all the ones that fail, there is no half damage, is there? Nope. I'm going to cast this at 3rd level. It's going to be 17 points of damage plus 10 because of my level. So 27 points of damage.
Okay. Very nice. That just breaks the 2 ballistas and it kills that cultist. How do I delete him? It kills that cultist.
I don't know if it matters, but I'm going doing thunder damage.
Yeah,
so I get to choose between the two.
Matter. And 27 damage, you said, to rule. Where are you big dink? Okay, there he is. 27 damage. All right, 2 ballistas have been taken down now, and 27 damage onto the gargoyle number 1. This energy comes just pulsing out of you, and it does a shock wave of thundering devastation as the men on the ship, the Morkoth, are trying to reload the ballistas. They're just the ballistas themselves just shatter up in their face. Wooden splinters hit them, throw them up in the air into the water to their demise. A chunk of the gargoyle trying to punch towards you is just broken away as this energy releases from you. Is that it on your turn?
I'm actually going to spend my 4 sorcery points and do greater invisibility as my bonus action.
All right, you vanish. Now, left up, cultist number uno. Is he dead? Where the heck are you? He's dead, but it didn't delete him. That's awkward. All right. That sucks. Right, Liviant, you're now up.
Oh shit, it's my turn. Nice.
Yes, sir. Took a while, but we got there.
Yeah, I must be last, I'm sure. I am on the ship near Livy and them, right? And there's a fucking gargoyle there?
Yeah, there's 2 gargoyles on the ship. The ship is any second now about to crash into the other ship, and the engage is about to commence, but there is 2 gargoyles on your ship.
Alright, I'm gonna go for the one that Livy is not at Livy. I can move 40 feet, so I should be able
Yeah,
to
no, you get there
so.
absolutely no problem. Yep. So go ahead and do your attack.
I'm gonna swing.
Swing from the chandelier.
Alright, so I have a 19 and a way more than that, like 25.
That's gonna do it.
Alright. Oh, I raged on the way while doing that.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would do. You would never forget to rage.
I was pooping.
Who dare disturbs my poop?
I was rage pooping. And that's 27 total damage.
All right, and that's the one that's not attacking Livy, attacking the crew. Very nice. All right, so yeah, what does it look like as you don't destroy him, but you bloody him severely? So what does that look like as you spring into action?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, you do kill him. Holy shit. You kill him.
I did kill him?
Yeah.
Alright, so I literally come up from below decks to this madness galore, and I just see the gargoyle with a whole bunch of dead bodies around it, and I just enrage, and I run towards it, and I just jump, do a spin move in the air, and just slice across it with my sword as I go, and as I go back around the other way, I grab it with your hands and sledge it right over the top of the head, and it just smashes into 1,000 pieces.
Very nice. Anything else on your turn?
No.
All right. The Kurth pirate.
How far do I have to move? I would like to move over near. Well, no. I wanna back up a little bit so I don't fall into the water if like we crash into the boat.
All right. Yep. You just brace yourself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I accidentally deleted the wrong gargoyle, so I'm just gonna shift him over on the map. It doesn't change health or anything. All right. You prepare, and then so do the remaining 4 pirates of Kurth's ship, as it finally, at the end of the initiative round, crashes in. Livy,
There's a gargoyle in front of her. She's
Yeah.
gonna aim it.
go for it.
There's one. Eat it, and let's ooh, actually no, I'm gonna no. We'll do the one hit
All right. 1 hits. Go for it.
with 9 points of electricity. Sure.
Electricity damage. I have a sneaky suspicion that was the wrong one to choose. No, apparently not.
Probably.
No, surprisingly. I would have thought it would have been immune to that, but apparently not. Interesting. Yep, you hit him for a bolt of energy shoots and electrocutes around the gargoyle. Strange. All right, next up, as you guys all rock into the ship now, your ship engaged. I'm going to move you guys up a bit closer now since technically you're there. You do see that there is indeed a lower kind of open portion of the ship. And below, there's 2 tiers to it. There's kind of this like little ledge, which is a 2nd floor, and then 1 floor even deeper is an enormously bearded, armored storm giant that has chains around him, and he seems to be in some form of deep slumber. Do I have a picture of him? Let's see if I have a picture of him so we can finally see what Mr. Hecaton looks like. Surprising, I do not. I know I have it somewhere though. I'll look for it when I'm not doing things. But there is King Hecaton, restrained by some kind of chains and slumbering away. Next up is a cultist on one of the surviving ballistas. He's going to spin it around and he is going to shoot it at none other than, this time it's going at you, Livy. It's going to roll a natural 1 to hit you for a arrow flying over your head. You jump out of the way again, positioning yourself in front of the gargoyle. From below deck, you start to see, hold on here, I can reveal more of the map. That's not what I meant to do. Oh god, I'm sorry, Fantasy Grounds. Please forgive my mistake. Alright. I'm going to reveal more of the map below. And you see that a cultist begins climbing up the stairs, and he is going to get to the top deck and ready himself for a fight. Another cultist from below is going to do the same thing, ready himself for a fight. To maybe somebody's surprise, as you look over at the last moment, you see now climbing on top of your ship is, I'll show you an image because I can't fucking describe this creature worth a damn, but I'll show an image right now. With a harpoon and rope, this marrow that begins clawing his way on top of the ship, and he is going to huck a harpoon at Livy. Sorry, Livy, you're getting targeted. And I roll a 20 to hit.
Shield?
Shield again? Nice. That's a good one to shield. All right, let me mark that he's targeting you because this is going to quickly become a clusterfuck for who's fighting who. And he has multi-attack, so what can he do? He can make 2 attacks, 1 with his harpoon, and then as the harpoon misses, he'll start to crawl towards you on the ship, his big fin-like torso slathering across the deck, flopping. You hear this disgusting, sickly sound, and he will try to bite into you. Rolling a natural 1, you slap him in the face, positioning your weapon to fire. Shit, I did not mean to go down that far. A cultist from below deck is going to start to climb up and position himself. Another marrow is going to climb on this side of the ship and try to harpoon, I guess, Warren is out of the picture now because he's invisible. So no longer can anyone see Warren, which means that is going for Octavios. So here comes a harpoon attack for a 18 to hit Octavios. Nope. And then a bite attack. Fuck my minions. 18. They suck ass. Another marrow climbs on ship, hucks a harpoon. Octavius, you hold up your shield, dent, it bounces off, it comes in biting, you slap it away with your hammer, but before you know it, another marrow is on ship, and he too is going to huck his harpoon at you, now flanking you from behind. The harpooner comes hovering in, rolling a 25 to hit. I'm gonna assume that fucking does it at least, right? Alright, you take a total of 9 damage, Octavios. I will drag that onto your sheet now that we're all happily in Fantasy Grounds, or at least 2 of us are happily in Fantasy Grounds. And then it is going to use its harpoon to try to pull you. A strength contest will now happen between you and the marrow. Go ahead and roll high, my friend, or God help you.
Strength, huh?
Yeah, I rolled a 21. That's your mark.
I rolled a 15.
15. So a harpoon attack sinks into you. It pierces into your shoulder, and it's one of those kind of barbed harpoons, so that when he pulls on it, it begins to pull and rend your flesh. A cruel smile comes across its tentacly-like face, and then it just scuba dives off backwards with the harpoon in hand. And Octavius, you get yanked right overboard into the water as you plummet below with the marrow, which is marrow number 4. Where is that bastard? He pulls you over this side. You're now in the water with it. It is going to try to bite you now with its second attack, rolling a 20 to hit.
That actually is my AC.
All right, then it does so, and 10 more damage onto you, Octavius, as you begin to try to tread water with the weight of this fish-like creature, which is much heavier than you were anticipating. It begins to pull you underwater. It's going to become a contest not to drown. Banago is up next. He is going to step forth, seeing this fucking gargoyle on his ship. He doesn't want to use any of his earthquake abilities because that would threaten to ruin his ship, but he will come in and go into a multi-attack. Kurth can make 3 attacks. He is going to Haya, Kaya, and Wham. That's his techniques that he uses. Fuck, he rolled really bad. 2 11s and a 19. The old man's fury is powerful, but maybe overcomes him as he swings 3 times in rapid succession. Only one clanks into the hard gargoyle stone skin. It badly wounds it. That's not right. This is magical damage. Sorry, I gotta re-roll that. It resisted it because Fantasy Grounds did not know that it was magical damage. So that puts him at that. All right, next up is Thultz, and a cruel smile comes across his face as he did see you for a moment, Warrendell. He begins speaking out telepathically. It comes to your mind, and he says, "I thought that I would see you again. I guess we'll finish this once and for all. Let's see who has the better crew." And he begins channeling a spell, and this smoke-like wisping energy starts to come from his feet and creep across like a fog that's basically, you see like these skulls and claws coming out from the fog and crawling out towards him, towards your ship, and basically going into the bodies of the dead pirates. And then the pirates' skins begin to turn to stone, and headless, 10 of those pirates begin to rise. That is going to be a problem in a couple moments for y'all. Let me actually get that in the track because, I was just thinking there's not enough dudes on the initiative. I love high-level D&D encounters.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I mean, it's just, I guess I could rewrite the entire encounters, but... Pirate zombies, there we go. They're now in the initiative. Another cultist from below deck is going to position himself down, guarding Hecaton. Another cultist from down is going to position himself guarding Hecaton. And what do we got here? Gargoyle number 2, still alive, is going to try to claw at Reich Liviant. Bite, claw for a total of 18 and 22, my friend.
Yeah, but did he move to me?
No, sorry.
I'm nowhere near.
Yeah, you're right. You're not near him. So that's Livy instead. Apologies. Livy. 18 and 22. Your shield is still on, so only the 22 gets through. All right. So you take Livy a total of 5 damage. I can add it to your character sheet, I believe. Is that the first time you've taken damage?
Yep.
Nice. All right. It claws you finally. You're dodging, you're weaving, you're rolling, you're fighting off with your Maiden's Garden, but finally a claw comes striking across your face, opening up your cheek. It sears with pain. As Rule is now up, he's going to begin tinkering with devices near the wheel. And what happens is that dorsal fin on the back of the ship begins to rise up slowly, basically like a gate to a building or whatnot, blocking off like a moat, and then it fully lifts up and then slams down into the water loudly, making this shock wave and this loud thudding sound into the water. I am going to roll something behind the scenes. Okay, that is done. And then he is going to ready himself with a crossbolt. Cultist on the ballista is going to fire it at Reich Liviant and missing. I'm going to target Reich Liviant so I don't lose track of who he's attacking because there's 70 million things going on. Next up is a cultist from downstairs. There is a fuckload of them down there. Where are you, Mr. Number 2? Hello? 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 Where is he? He must be... Oh, there he is. He's going to... There's not enough room for him to come up on that ladder, so he's going to make his way over to this ladder and begin to climb up and assist his comrades. Octavios, you are now in the water. To make any movements, you have to break out of the harpoon. Otherwise, you are restrained. So your movement is 0. And I believe...
I don't need to move, buddy.
All right.
So, Octavius is just going to start, verbally screaming at this thing that has in front of him. The direction that I'm pointed in, I would imagine, has this thing and then the boat and everything behind it, correct?
Yeah, so basically what you're seeing is what's going on with this ship.
Okay, so I have everybody, not everybody, but like everybody above ship in my line of sight from the water, right?
The ships are probably tall enough that you'd have a hard time seeing them, to be honest. Maybe you'd see a couple, like you'd see Livy and a couple of the crew, but I don't think you'd see everybody since you're like below the ship's level. Like one's a frigate. And
this is even better. Never mind. I don't need to see them.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a destructive wave. It's the water bobbing, the pain in my leg. This creature right in front of me, just horribly vicious, looking at me. The boat's destroyed and the wood floating past, and some smoke probably coming up from starter kindling, a fire starting. Octavius is just gonna yell at this creature, creating a destructive wave, and he's going to think of his friends in his mind so that they don't get hurt. And he's going to think of Hecaton so he doesn't get hurt. But everyone else within 30 feet has to make a saving throw, a Constitution saving throw, or take a fucking shit ton of damage.
Why you gotta do that to me?
Everybody, man.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna break it down into 5. I'm gonna roll 1 Constitution saving throw for 5 dudes because these guys are basically minions anyways. So like if
Con saves 15.
they actually just roll your damage because you might just like straight up kill them anyways, even with a fail.
Okay, the damage in total would be 42.
Yeah, so all the minion-like guys are just destroyed. So let me get them out. 13, 3, 20. All right, let me just go through this.
Does that do anything to the boat?
Hopefully.
I imagine, yeah. It's probably going to do a damage to the boat. 20 is out. 13. I want to see something actually really quickly because it would be
I'm
so
thinking about
much.
the creature in front of me with the harpoon.
Yeah, you're gonna hit him too. I just want to see something here.
Oh yeah.
13. If I delete that, it doesn't delete it from the initiative. That's annoying as fuck. Okay. Next up is 16, 15, and 19. 16.
Try to make your job easier. You see what I do?
Yeah, it's gonna help me in the long run. 16, 15. There's 15. Did I say 18 also? Ba-boom. Almost done. Sorry. There they are. And then you are 19 and 2. 19. And then 2. Boom. Last one. And then now I gotta make a save for all the other dudes that will survive it. So the marrow in front of you. Constitution saving throw. Rolled a 19.
That's a save.
So half damage. What is the half
21.
damage? 21 half. Okay. He is still living. 21. What are you, you dink? 21. Alright, now for rule. Unfortunately for Thultz, he can't counterspell that because he didn't see it. So he didn't know it was coming. 21 for rule, so that's another 21 damage to him because he succeeds. And last but not least is... Oh, wow, he's in bad shape, actually. Rule 21, that puts him at... Interesting. And then Thultz, last but not least, is going to make his save at advantage, and he fails anyways. Damn. Alright, so that's a total of...
42 damage.
42 damage.
And part of that is necrotic, and part of that is thunder damage.
Interesting. Alright.
Oh, sorry, radiant and thunder, not necrotic. Radiant.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that would have been way worse if it was necrotic. Alright, these guys are also dead, 18 and 14. So now that that's all done with, I can describe what it looks like. So as you're in the water, actually you describe what it looks like, because you just like took out literally like fucking 12 dudes in one spell. So what does that look like?
Oh, this giant wave emanates from Octavius's head bobbing above the water. The waves start to ripple as the force starts to rush towards the boat. The boat even starts to keel onto one side. 12 guys experience the wave full force and basically just explode and disintegrate as the dust and blood starts to fly in the direction of this projectile air and awesomeness coming from Octavius's light and glorious body. And then it starts to calm and everyone just starts to settle. Some hurt. My friends tilted but fine and rejuvenated for the battle ahead as they look around and see less people in front of them.
Holy shit, I just realized something else pretty important. Thunder damage, eh? Damn, that's interesting. So, this does a fair amount of devastation to the ship too. As this destructive wave just tears through, it's like this slow motion montage of the ship being just absolutely broken apart, the ballistas exploding, men just being ruptured like Octavius described, just absolutely decimating the ship's force. But also, as you're concentrating on Hecaton, not hurting him, the destructive wave ripples over his body, not doing a single speck of damage to him, but the thunder damage gets through to the chains that encase him, and all 4 chains snap. And with that instant passing, Hecaton's eyes open up.
Oh shit.
Next up is a dead-ass cultist. What are you still in the initiative for? You're long dead, my friend. Next up is the zombie pirates. There's 10 of them on board. They're all going to act as a swarm, basically. And they are going to begin to swarm Kurth, actually. And they're going to swing at him. And as they begin to come to life, no heads, their bodies just slamming and tearing into his flesh. They're going to hit a couple times. And that's a miss. and a hit. And a natural 20. Sorry, Kurth. Alright, and then there's the damage to Kurth. That last one didn't count. And then Kurth needs to make a saving throw, because Livy will probably remember that last time she got attacked by these stone zombies, something pretty shitty happened to her in the form of paralyzation. So Kurth, making his Constitution saving throw, and rolls a natural 20. He is a healthy old gaffer. He doesn't care. He apologizes to his men and says, "I am sorry, my children, for what he has done. Your suffering is almost over." As all of them are just like surrounding onto him, tearing into him, he almost doesn't fight them momentarily. He lets them do it, and then takes a deep breath, like a somebody that knows something terrible needs to be done right now. Warrendale, you're invisible. All this chaos is going on. The destructive wave is just rending the Morkoth, basically almost destroying it in one go. It's barely afloat now. The sail on it is broken. The ballistas are torn apart. Men are thrown overboard. You look over and see Octavius treading water for his life. What do you do?
Take a note of where my friend is in the water. I figure he's quite capable of taking care of himself, at least for the moment. I mean, I could save him, but then I would just have to gulp more later. Instead, I'll turn, look at where this bastard mage is across the way. Fish around a little bit on my side. I'm gonna use my Wand of Fireball as my action.
All right.
I rolled a 22. Or no, I don't need to roll. They need to save, don't they? For
save, yes. He 110% is going to reactionary counter spell it, though.
He can't see me.
Oh, he can't see you. Fuck, and he needs to see you. You attempt to cast a creature if the creature you attempt to interrupt a creature is a creature in the process of casting a spell. Yeah, I imagine you have to see it. It doesn't say you do, but
yeah, under the casting time, a creature you can see.
Oh yeah, nice. Damn, that's gonna suck. All right, what's the radius on a fireball though?
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius, huh? So that's what that looks like if you see on YouTube. You would have a hard time. I guess you could technically position it to not hit Hecaton if you really wing it off to the back end.
If I can, yeah, but I wasn't too concerned about hitting them, really.
Nah, you honestly probably would hit him, I'd say. Yeah, that makes sense to me, that you would hit him. So yeah. Okay, so they need to make...
Dex saving throws.
Dex saving throws.
I don't know if it's mine or if it's something different with the wand. I don't know.
The wand will say what it is, so I'll pull up your character sheet and
yeah, because I don't have that part.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what level it's at either. I'm assuming just basic.
I think you can choose, to be honest, like, because there's a certain amount. I'll pull it up right now and get that information for you, but there's a certain amount of spell slots on it. So you have a certain amount of charges, which it doesn't say how many charges you have left.
3. It's on my others, and I think next to my sorcerer points.
3.
It's under that.
Okay, so and you can. One notes. You can increase the spell slot by doing additional charges. So yeah, you can add. It starts as a 3rd level, but if you expend additional charges, you can do the next level up. So you can technically cast it as a level 5 if you want. But when the wand reaches its last charge, roll a d20. So are you going to spend all 3 charges?
Nope. I only figured the regular basic one, so that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, sounds good. Keep track then that you're down to 2 and roll your damage, and I'll roll my saves.
I got 32 on the damage.
Nice. The DC is a 15. So Rule rolled an 18. Thultz, he's rolling so fucking bad. Rolled a 13. And Hecaton rolled a... That's a con save, but that's okay. He rolled a fail. So that's a pass on Rule and a fail on Thultz and Hecaton. So what was the damage again?
32.
32 puts him at that. Okay, stop that. And then half of 32 is 16. That puts him at that. So Rule is critically injured now. Thultz is bloodied, And Hecaton takes 32 damage, which lights his like kneecap on fire, basically. Nothing too serious.
Not that anybody can see Warren, but I'm going to hold my hand out. Use 1 sorcery point to cast a cantrip of Firebolt. And again, this is going to be on Foltz.
Okay. Damn. You
And I
bastard.
got a 29, which was a critical.
You motherfucker. Go ahead and do your
It's going to
damage.
be 27 damage.
Ooh, don't kill
On
my...
top of that, I would use another sorcery point, which causes any of those zombies that are around me to all take 10 points of damage equal to my level.
Sexy. All right, you're a badass. All right, 27 damage. Puts him out. Did you fucking kill him? No. Oh, he's good. He's good. Fuck. All right.
And I'll take a few steps back since he's probably seen where I cast from, so, I'll move a little.
How much damage does the zombies take?
10.
Oh my god, you just absolutely burn alive all the stone zombies. What the fuck is this high-level D&D bullshit?
We are so powerful.
I know. Literally the CR rating for this challenge is ungodly too. Like it's probably like a CR like 46 challenge rating, and you guys are just absolutely decimating it. All right, so next up is the cultists that were below deck and weren't in vision or even range of being seen, so they're going to begin running out and seeing what the fuck's going on. They see that Hecaton is awake and beginning to pick himself up on fire in rage. And as soon as they open the door, they see him and they just basically nope and head back into the ship. Next up is... That was him. That was those three, right? Yeah. Okay, next up is Reich Liviant. At the bottom of the initiative, it takes like 20 minutes to get to your turn, my friend.
Shit.
So all that went down. What are you doing?
I am going to... Alright, who's on the ship now?
So on your ship is just the lone gargoyle and 2 marrows. On the enemy ship, all that you can see that's left is the nasty stone wizard and the captain of the ship.
Okay, so I'm going to go after the marrow things.
Yep, there's 2 that could be potentially on you if you wish to. They were throwing harpoons at you.
Alright, yeah, that's a 20 and a 30, which is a natural 20.
Hit and a hit.
Okay, I am going to... That's only that. Ooh, that's low. That's 14 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And do I double the dice or do I roll double the amount of dice?
Your call. I say doubling the dice is funner unless you don't have the dice.
And that is 27 on the second hit.
All right. So as you, with a rage and fury, come charging at the marrow, Jesus. Describe what it looks like as you take it down.
Seeing all the carnage and everything going around, these squid people kind of freak him out. He just kind of beats into action and does his patented slice slam.
All right.
And there's jelly on the deck, and he kind of looks at the second marrow and just shouts.
All right. Awesome. Next up is the cursed pirates that remain. There's still 4 left. They charge with their scimitars at the last marrow, now being rallied by the turn of events. They start slashing with their scimitar. Miss, hits, and a miss. The first hit was a natural 20, though. So they do a total of that to the pirates. Or no, there's one more guy that gets a swing. Sorry. So last hit is a miss also. And that marrow takes some damage as 5 of them rush out and begin hacking into the one remaining marrow on the ship. Next up is back to the top of the initiative. Livy, you're up. Give me a perception check as you go.
Good thing. And she's also kind of freaking out about Tavios being yoinked overboard.
And exactly, as you look over...
Hang on, that was a performance. So, -3 to that.
Okay, so just a 14.
14.
As you're looking at Octavius to make sure he's okay, kind of worried for him momentarily, your eyes caught to the attention of that basically shockwave from the dorsal fin of the ship slamming into the water. You're watching it kind of just carry out through the still water, and your eyes watch it as it goes and goes and goes on for a while, and then in the distance, basically where the fog basically would normally lose your vision, you see that there's a response. A wave begins to push back, almost as if answering it. And as you look in that direction, you see that the water is black as night in that area, and the black water seems to be spreading.
Starts to speak like, "Oh shit, Tam. Warren, if you're still around here, we got trouble coming." And he will then take aim at the gargoyle number 2 and pew pew in the hopes that that threat will be taken care of here soon enough. There's a non-hit and a 18 to hit.
All right, I think an 18 hits. Let me just double check the gargoyle. I believe his AC is 18. No, it's less than that. It's a hit.
Woo! All right, well, at least that gets in, and we're going to go with lightning again because that worked.
Yeah.
So 11 points of lightning. Blah, blah, blah.
All right, you shock into him. Another bolt, bringing him over the bloody threshold. He's getting closer to critically injured as big chunks of him are now burned away, slashed away, and broken away by the electric bolts. Anything else on your turn?
I think that's gonna be it. She's gonna stand her ground.
All right, Hecaton is now up, and he picks himself up, standing taller than any giant you have ever seen stand. The most impressive of all the giants, he stands there, and he lets out a roar of anger, and he has wrapped around both of his arms the 2 chains that were recently keeping him in his slumber. And in giant, he yells out, "Who dare put me in this slumber? All you puny rodents will pay for your meddling, and I shall sink you to the lowest depths." Go ahead.
Before my armor pulls me under with this creature with a harpoon, I want to yell back in giant, "My king, your daughter Sarissa is in trouble. She sent us to save you." Go.
All right. I am going to say that is going to have to wait for your turn to go off. Because you're in the middle of trying to... So you're trying... You're like, "My king," like just getting dragged under the water. So you're going to have to like spend an action to... Because this guy, you're like literally have like this fully grown man fish thing fighting to pull you underwater. So on your turn, you can definitely try to do that. But for now, every time you try to reach out and yell, your lungs are just filled with salty, cold water.
You have an attitude.
I do. And Hecaton is going to
so far.
pick himself up. As a bonus action, he's going to begin to rock the ship back and forth with his weight, making Rule, and this sucks that none of you guys are on the other ship, but making those guys make a dex save. So the wizard falls fucking prone with a natural 1. The captain of the ship stays standing, so just so I remember, I'm going to tilt him upside down so that we will see. I'm going to sync the view a little bit closer to the map so that we get a better look of what's going on here. Let me sync client view. You guys should have a more zoomed in view now.
Oh yeah.
And then with a multi-attack, he is going to make 2 chain attacks. To his confusion, though, he's been sleeping for a long time. He doesn't really fully know what's going on. So I have to roll to see basically who he attacks. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you on the deck that he can see. So we're going to label that fucking 2. The first attack goes towards the captain of the ship, Rule, as he rolls a 26 to hit. He absolutely slams the massive chains that were binding him into a slumber on top of Rule and absolutely decimates him to his death. He splats underneath the weight of the chain. The next attack, he's going to look over in fury. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reich Liviant, you are getting this one.
No.
Yep. And he is going to make a chain attack. 27 to hit.
No, that misses.
18 damage.
Actually halved.
Halved. Yeah, they're not magical chains. Well, technically they're magical chains, but they're not magically damaging chains. So yeah, they just...
Right.
Yeah.
So 9.
All right. That is it for Hecaton's turn. He is in a raged confusion as small folk have done much wrong to him in the past coming time. Marrow number 1 is going to fight off the Cursed Pirates. A bite, a claw, a hit, and he kills both of the 2 pirates that he is fighting, leaving only 2 of Kurth's men left. Next up on the initiative track is Marrow number 4, who is going to first try to drag Octavius deep into the water. Strength check, my friend. This is going to be a tough one for you.
Over on the YouTube, Chris, the Marrow picture takes up the whole thing. Can you close that?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I forgot.
At first, Octavius struggles and starts to feel himself fail, but then as he finds inspiration in Ilmater and the fact that he's not done suffering for this world's strife, he's going to use his inspiration and roll again.
Nice. Good luck.
Thanks. And I'm going to do it. Shit. I got the exact same thing.
Destiny, you're definitely not done suffering, you think to yourself, as you're pulled down into the icy cold water. You are pulled 10 feet into the water. And then the creature begins to swim around you, wrapping the rope even further around your neck. And then as one action, he's going to start choking you. And then the second action, he is going to bite into you. So, now below, he's going to roll a 22 to hit.
That won't hit.
12 damage, and give me a contest of Constitution. Should be pretty good at that.
Constitution contest?
Yeah. Versus his strength.
That was at first, Octavius feels himself being pulled into the strife, but he's going to use his second inspiration.
Yeah.
Because that was a nat 1. So this is 16.
16. You are in trouble, my friend. He rolled a 21. Go ahead and knock off a... I'm going to say a death saving throw, but it's not a true death saving throw. Check off 1 of 3 contests to stay alive. If he overcomes you 3 times, then you're going to be unconscious in the water. He's choking you out of consciousness.
That was an 8.
No, you don't need to make a death saving throw. Sorry, you get 1 loss right now. You're basically 1 of 3 losses towards being choked unconscious. All right, Benigo Kurth, now seeing this giant Storm King in a fury, yells out, "Hey, I thought he was supposed to help us!" And he is going to run over to the Marrow and make his 2 Kurth Fury attacks. Ba-bam! Holy fuck, Kurth. 4 and a 1. So even with his giant modifiers, he still misses. Next up is Foltz, and he is in a bad spot. So he is going to Interesting. Can he actually do this? The more important question is, does Warren know counterspell? I don't know if he does or not, but let me see. Ba-ba-bum. All right. Interesting. He's going to begin to cast a spell on himself, channeling out words and gestures, tracing runes. You recognize this, Warren? Give me an advantage Arcana check.
Arcana, you said?
Yep.
20 total.
20 total. You recognize the spell as Banishment, and he cast it on himself and vanishes. All right. Next up is a cultist downstairs. He is terrified for his life, and they're just going to be hanging out in that quadrant. The gargoyle is going to somehow instinctually look up as if he's heard some kind of voice in his head, and he's going to disengage and fly a total of... Where the fuck are you, gargoyle? What's your movement? 60. Holy shit. So yeah, he like propels off like a jet and flies 60 feet straight up into the air. Next up is... Oh yeah, there's more cultists down here. Those guys are going to also hide because they don't want to fuck with that. And Marrow...
Excuse me.
Why is he hidden? Did I forget to do that? Is going to come up and attack King Hecaton, throwing a harpoon into him and hitting. He is going to try to drag Hecaton overboard. This is going to be a funny contest, I'm sure. Let's see. The Marrow rolls a 6. King Hecaton rolls a... That's not right. Plus... So he rolled a natural 1, but even a natural 1, he rolled a 15. So he overcomes the Marrow and just rips the rope out of his arms, and the Marrow comes like flying up in the air, not able to let go of the rope quick enough, and dragged aboard the ship. That ends the Marrow's turn. Octavios Ren, you're 10 feet underwater, being choked with the rope, and this thing's claw around your neck as it tries to drown you in the water. What do you do?
All right. Well, I have an idea, but you have to tell me it's a viable idea.
Okay.
The spell that I want to use is funny because it actually says that I need to be bound around in an armor or a similar appendage, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
It says that there's a verbal thing, but I did a little research, and the only verbal is pata. I think I can say that underwater.
Yeah, they've already ruled that you can save verbal components underwater.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use freedom of movement.
Yep.
Which actually says that I can spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints, such as manacles or a creature that has a grapple.
You do
My
so.
living underwater imposes no penalties on the target's movements or attacks.
Yep.
So at that point, I'm going to swim to the surface.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, in giant, King Hecaton. No, sorry. I'm going to say, King Hecaton, we are petty servants. We are sent from your daughter Sarissa, who is in trouble. Our only job was to come and save you. We are here to bring peace back and to the ordering and end the ordering. And then I'll probably end up going back underwater because my armor's super heavy.
Roll a persuasion check at advantage. Or any other charisma ability that you can reason. Although I don't think you can intimidate the King of Giants, so...
I will use persuasion.
Try.
And I will get an 18.
In Giant, he hears you speak out, and he hears the name Sarissa, and he looks to you as you're dragged underwater, and he wants to ask you more questions. Or you're not dragged underwater, you're completely free now, so yeah, I know. You're up to you. Do you stay treading above water, or?
I have plate mail on, man, and I'm sure like that's new for me. So I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
you
if I'm
yeah you
used to
you
swimming around.
sink back into the water only to like prepare yourself for battling. But he hears you, and that registers for him. Next up, give me a perception check while you're down there.
Well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And that's a 6.
6.
Yeah.
All right. Then never mind. You see nothing. Nothing to see down here. Next up is Warrendale. The mage Stoltz has made a banishing retreat into another plane of existence. You know that lasts for a minute before he pops back, but a lot of things can happen between now and then.
Mm-hmm. So I'll take a mental note of that. I also know that while he's there, he's completely incapacitated too.
Mm-hmm.
Run over to the side where I can see Octavius run down below. How far away? I don't know how big the ship is. How far away is Octavius from me? Is he within 30 feet?
Yeah, he's within 30 feet.
All right. So I have lightning lure. Oh shit, no, that's only has 50. Is he within 15 feet?
Yeah, just barely.
Okay. So I see him down there. And, well, you still can't see my coolness as this bit of lightning almost looks like a rope or like this whip comes out of my hands. And you can hear me as you start to sink under Octavius. I say, don't fight it. And just assuming he lets me and doesn't want to make a strength saving throw, I can pull him 10 feet up to me and right beside me.
All right.
But he'll take 1d8 damage.
All right. Do the damage, and you get lightning whipped as Warrendale yells out, "Get over here!" And a lightning bolt shoots out.
6 points of damage.
All right, thanks.
But that'll rip him up to the deck.
You're back on deck. All right, very nice. The cultists below are cowarding for their life. Is there anything in this thing for them to actually grab? Just a bunch of hammocks and stuff. So yeah, they're pretty scared. All right. Right, Livians. There is a marrow in front of you. King Hecaton has attacked you, but you did hear Octavius yelling out in Giant, which I don't think means a whole lot to you.
No, not at all. Well, I don't want to fight the Hecaton, so I'm going to finish off the marrow, and yeah, I guess that's it.
All right.
$22 and $25.
22 and 25. That's going to hit and hit.
$24 damage total.
All right. That is enough to kill this marrow also. God damn it.
And I look up to Octavius and say, say it again. It needs to sink in for him that we're here to help.
Friends of mine, kneel before our king. And then Octavius will actually kneel.
All right. Curse pirates do so also. Livy, what do you do before you?
The suit. Although, yeah, Merrow 1 and Merrow 3. I think Merrow 3 will be the one she will take aim at, though.
Okay, that one is basically with a chain wrapped around it and flung onto the deck. Hecaton looks like he's about to address it right around now, but if you want to take the honors...
I'm on your side, dude.
Yep, go ahead and shoot.
With a 21 and a 29.
Hit.
Here is 7 points of lightning and another 9 points of lightning for 16 points.
You finish it off.
Kill still. I'm on your side, dude.
All right. He looks to you as you all drop down to a knee. I could delete the wrong one again. This guy's in the water, technically. And he says to you in Giant, Octavius, "You, small folk, you speak my daughter's name, yet know one of your race has ever been to my kingdom. How do you know of her? What danger is she in?
We have all been brought to your kingdom. We have been trying to fight this ordning and save the people of Earth. We have been trying to bring everyone back together. It's been a long time. But anyway, your daughter has been petrified in a manner by a magician who is on that ship, I think, somehow.
No, she was taken by Imra.
No, yeah, the dragon did it.
Yeah, Imif the dragon, sorry. Haha, thank you for my friends. You know, we're here to make sure that she is safe and you are safe, and you being missing has really kind of fucked some shit up.
You say that a dragon has taken my daughter.
Well, we
exactly. She's still in your kingdom.
didn't we fight and kill Imrith? Didn't we kill Imrith?
No, he took off
Oh,
Yeah,
bitch.
with the throne, I believe.
She took the scepter away from Sarissa, which petrified her to the stone.
Yeah, we
Right.
tell him that.
All right. Yeah. So he says that obviously he knows of this. To be separated from the scepter while on the throne will paralyze you for all of eternity. We must retrieve and destroy this dragon enemy. But first, I want to address the individuals here that captured and put me in dormant and killed my wife and started all of this. And he's going to kick open the ship in the front half and absolutely just crush the cultists below. In 2 quick moves, he just kills them all with no mercy.
Oh, point back. That's a man who had you on the change. He should appear back in a few moments. You might want to be ready for him.
All right. The marrow is going to disappear the fuck out of here. Then we shall wait for him, and I shall deal with him personally for the treason that he has committed against my kind. And he begins to wait, and a minute needs to pass. But Livy, you remember the black water kind of changing, and as you look around now, you see that blackness has completely surrounded the entire ship, and the water is now black as night. Hecaton looks to you all and says, "Do you have means to get back to Maelstrom quickly? I know where it is, but it will be a long swim."
I do.
Who's got this boat? Sorry.
I don't, but
One of us has that conch, doesn't? Don't we have a conch? Don't we have a conch? You have a conch?
Did that get us there?
You have a
Oh, that
conch?
was through a portal, though, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a portal.
Rygliviant, I think, still has the conch of teleportation.
Sweet.
Do I?
I could check your inventory, but I don't think he gave it back.
I haven't put it on there, but I definitely didn't give it back.
Yeah, you still have it in your inventory.
Yeah, so I would reach into my belongings and pull out the conch and present it to him.
we should like go now then, because I don't know if anyone else noticed, but the water is black.
What do you mean, Livy?
Look. Yo. Point.
I'll look around.
All right.
It can't be good.
As you
Right?
look around, Rygliviant, you pulling out your conch of teleportation. Yeah, I got that. Ready to go. Quickly bursting out of the water is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enormous black as inky void darkness as you ever seen, massive tentacles.
Oh, Jesus.
Who summoned Cthulhu?
I don't believe that that's true.
The first one of which, lightning quick, reaches for you, Rygliviant, and tries to strangle the conch out of your grasp.
Hot potato.
Go ahead and make a strength contest.
Well, I get that at advantage because I'm raging.
Yes.
That's a 22. That's better. 18 plus a saving throw.
Yep.
26.
26.
Nice.
Jesus, you got so... Wait, that's not even right. Sorry. It didn't do it right. Why is not math correct? Oh, it is correct. 26. The black tentacle rolled a 24. So you hold true to it. Next, a tentacle is going to go up and try to grab... I said 5 of them. Livy,
One for each of us.
Octavios, Warrendale, you stayed invisible.
What is it? Let me check the.
It's
I
a
think it's
minute.
only lasts a minute, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if a minute's up, but
Yeah, it's probably up by now. Alright, so how many tentacles does it have? Let me pull up this shit.
If it's a squid or an octopus, it probably has at least 8.
I just want to see as per stat block what it actually can do. Apparently it only gets 3. Interesting. Okay, so 1 was on Liviant. 1 is going to be on you, Livy. It actually just rolls to hit you, so it's going to do so. And it does 17 damage, and you're grappled.
Ow.
1's going to go on to you, Warrendale. 34 to hit. And 18 damage as you're grappled, and that's 3 attacks. And bursting up through the water finally, after being summoned, is a great and powerful kraken by the name of Slarkrethel. Maybe.
Hey, didn't Kuth remember this guy?
Yep. He does indeed remember you, and a smile comes across his face as he says, I knew this was too easy. It's been a long time, my old enemy. Hecaton is up next, and he is going to say, do not lose that conch! And 2 powerful chain attacks whip out towards the tentacle's head. 28 and 26 to hit. Both attacks definitely hit Slarkrethel. Doing a total of resisted damage as this kraken has resisted some of the blow. Another whipping attack goes across, again resisting it. Next up would normally be you, or would be Kurth, but the kraken is going to use a legendary action to make a tentacle attack against you again, right, Oliviant. It does not want you to use that conch. 31 to hit.
Yeah, of course.
And it does 23 damage, and you're grappled.
What type of damage is that?
It is bludgeoning damage, not magical.
Okay. So I take, how much, 34 you said?
23.
23, so I accidentally take
11 or 12.
12?
12, yep.
Yeah.
Kurth is now up, and he is going to yell out that this creature is not going to let us leave alive. We must flee immediately, and he's going to jump up and run to you, Rycliviant. Hack, hack, and hack. Jesus, he hit all 3 times. The Kraken has 10 tentacles. Does it say how much damage needs to be done to break a tentacle? Bum, 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 bum. It does not say, but nonetheless, that damage goes through. Oh my god. Everyone remain calm. The Kraken has a little bit of HP.
Okay.
Give me a second here. Why didn't that go off? Sorry. Oh, yeah, I gotta do the damage first. Here we go. Damage, damage, and damage. I guess I can just target him for next time, and that'll make life a lot easier. And here we go. Bang, bang, and bang. Next up would normally be the gargoyle who's flying away. It's going to continue to fly away, but Slar Cathel is going to use another legendary action, and he is going to fling Livy. Holy shit, 60 feet in a random direction.
Oh,
Yay.
So pick a choice. Livy, do you want to go 60 feet to the north of the water, 60 feet to the south of the water? You're going for a swim, basically.
South.
You're going to take 66 damage. So that's 28 damage. And if the target is at another creature, and you're knocked prone into the water, but basically you're just in the water. All right, the gargoyle gets away. Octavius, you are grappled by the Kraken. You know that Reich Liviant needs to blow the conch as an action, and he needs to have 8 people touching him in order for you guys to escape. All of you to escape. They need to be touching him in order to get away. So the ideal action is 8 of you touching him, and he blows his horn.
I have a
Is there
theory.
even 8 of us?
There's actually exactly 8, but Kurth and 2 pirates are among that 8. So
I have a theory
yeah.
that hypothetically, if we're being held by the Kraken, wouldn't that mean that we are connected by touch?
Do you want to teleport the Kraken as well?
Well, I would imagine there's a radius on the teleport, right? So it would cut off the tentacles, or it would probably only take half of the Kraken.
I don't really. That's a lot. You're leaving a lot up to discretion here. So your choice. You can yell that out if you want.
Okay, well, no, hold on. I have a lot of plans right now. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, what side of the Kraken and the boat is Livy on? Is Livy on the side of the boat? away from the
Let me
Kraken,
roll
or
the
is she on
actual
the side of the boat with
d6
the Kraken?
to see which direction she went. She went to the front of the ship, 60 feet into the water.
So she is separated by the boat from the Kraken.
So Livy, we'll say, if you look at the map, the line was basically a ship. The ship was parallel with it, so she got chucked into the water about 60 feet away.
Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up a wall of fire. I'm going to put it up on the side of the Kraken that Livy is going to be on our side of the wall. But I want it to cross all of the tentacles that are coming over onto the boat. So it's going to be like a wall of fire close to the boat, so it's just hitting the tentacles. Now, I'm going to create a wall of fire on a solid surface, water. Or either I can do it on the boat itself and it won't burn the boat, I don't think, because it's on top of the boat of the surface.
Yeah, you
I'm going to
can.
make the wall, as long as I possibly can, 60 feet long, 20 feet high. And
Yep.
when the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dex saving throw. On a failed save, creature takes 5d8 fire damage. And then every turn that it stays in the wall or has to cross through the wall, it gets more damage.
All right, so I need to make a saving throw. Which one again?
Wall of fire is
Dex.
dex 15.
All right. It rolled a 20.
Alright, so it saves, so it takes half of 26, which is 13 damage.
Okay.
On every tentacle, and every tentacle is still within the wall of fire, so on its turn it has to do another save.
All right. Give me a second here. Why is this not working? I just realized that curse damage didn't apply to it. Let's try that again. Oh, it's immune. That's why it's misreading. Okay, so that puts him at 24, and then puts him at 38, and then 56. Okay. And then how much damage again? Sorry, I had to recalculate something.
It takes 13 damage on every tentacle.
Okay.
And then on every turn it makes a new save.
All right. Puts him at
Unless it
60.
wants to let us go and go back onto its own side of the wall.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. At the end of your turn, it is going to use a legendary action, and it's going to fling you 60 feet in the opposite direction.
It has to make a DC save before its legendary action, and it'll take more damage
All right.
from my wall of fire.
Sounds good.
And then I will take, obviously.
Wait,
whatever damage.
let me see Wallfire, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Just because
Bam.
it might not take the damage. You create a wallfire when a creature appears, blah, 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 on the side, blah, blah, blah. A creature takes the same damage when it enters on its first turn or where it ends its turn. So legendary actions are more of like a reactionary thing, so this actually wouldn't hurt it yet. So it's going to hurt it again on its turn, and then if it ends its turn, it's going to hit it, but not right now.
Okay.
So you take 66 damage, which is a total of 29 damage.
Alright.
Okay, and then it is actually up now. So it no longer is grappling Livy or Octavius. It still has Liviant. It is going to look at Hecaton now and make 2 tentacle attacks. Well, bam, 22 to hit and 27 to hit. It definitely does so. All right, Hecaton is going to get bopped pretty hard. So,
Did it do its DC saves?
yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Thank you, sorry.
Alright.
I almost forgot. But
I'm taking any damage against this thing I can get, okay?
yeah, and even though you guys have launched a pretty devastating attack at it already, just to give you a present of mind, this Kraken barely looks phased. This is probably one of the most powerful creatures you've ever seen, and it rolled a 13 on its dex saving throw, so it takes full damage.
It's 20 is the full damage to each tentacle.
Okay. Very nice. I'm going to say that the tentacle that's holding Liviant is burnt off, so it now only has 9 tentacles. It does say that it has 10. So now it has 9 tentacles left. 10 tentacles.
Blow the conch! Wait till we're touching you.
Yeah, you're 60 feet away one way, he's 60 feet the other. 2 attacks onto Hecaton, and then 1 attack onto Kurth. Hecaton is grappled, Kurth is grappled, and that is the end of its turn. Next up is Warrendale. So to recap, 2 tentacles are wrapped around King Hecaton. 1 is wrapped around Kurth. Octavius is thrown towards the western side of the map, and Livy's to the east. And you're kind of on the center of the ship as tentacles are now just pulling itself up. This massive creature, gargantuan in size. It's just weight of its tentacles is actually crushing both ships just as it pulls itself up.
Look at all of this going around. We don't have time for all of this. From a bonus action, I will Misty Step out of its grapple back to the deck.
Okay.
I have 4 sorcerer points left. I'm going to cast 3 for heightened spell and cast banishment on the Kraken. It will have disadvantage on the saving throw because of the heightened spell. It's a charisma saving throw, DC 17.
Interesting.
Come on, baby.
All right, disadvantage on the saving throw.
Actually, I will cast that at. Yeah, never mind. I'll leave it. Yeah.
All right, I am sorry, my friend. It rolled a 29. It has some disgusting saving throw bonuses for the record.
I figured.
18 plus 11 is what it rolled.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Was that with disadvantage?
Oh yeah, sorry, disadvantage. I almost forgot. Here we go. One more roll. Come on, lucky number. What's your DC saving throw?
17.
17. So it rolled a 16. But you guys are gonna hate me because
You're not legendary resistance. You're not that kind of man.
it's gonna use one of its 3 legendary resistances
I figured.
to stay alive. It resists it, but you knock down 1. So 2 more, and it is basically prone to all spells. I'm going to mark that. 2. All right. End of your turn, or anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, it is going to use one of its legendary actions to... The Kraken has 3 bolts on which it can strike. Yikes. Okay. It's not going to do that. It's going to do... It is going to do that. Fuck. Good luck, my friends. This is going to hurt. It's going to get really interesting in a second. It's going to use its legendary action to call upon a lightning storm. 3 bolts of lightning. It chooses 3 different targets. 1 on Kurth, 1 on Warren, and 1 on Reikleviant. I need a dexterity saving throw. You want to roll as high as you possibly can.
Needs inspiration.
I got 16.
16 is definitely not high enough. You can use your inspiration if you want.
I got 18.
18. You can use your inspiration if you want.
I don't think I have any.
Okay. Everybody has at least 1 right now.
Alright, let me try again. Oh no, that's 19.
19. Still not enough.
I rolled an 18 again anyway.
Fuck.
All right. You take 23 lightning damage if you fail.
Mine is half since I'm a storm sorcerer.
Nice.
What would that be then?
Half of 23 is 11.
13? Oh.
Well, it would be 11.
Rounding up.
Alright. Let's do this.
All right. That's it for its legendary action. So Warrendel's turn is over. Reikleviant. Your go, my friend.
Hey, what happened?
What do you at for HP?
What happened?
What are you at for HP?
31.
31. Okay, you're still good. So
I'm gonna re-rage just to make sure I'm still good.
no, you're good. You don't have to re-rage.
Action. And so I'm not grappled, right?
Not anymore. No, the wall of flame has burnt it off.
Wonderful. And there's still tentacles that I can see.
A whole whackload of them, and the beast does not look like. There's 9 left.
Great. How far is Hecaton from me?
He is 5, 10, 15, 20 feet away. Livy is
Is there a wall of
roughly.
fire between us?
What's that?
Is there a wall of fire in between us, or is he on our side of the?
No. So the wall of fire, if you look on the map on YouTube, is 60 feet this way. I'm just gonna draw a big line. I don't know. It'll probably take a while to show up in hindsight, but yeah.
It's popped right up for me this time.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, I'm waiting for it to show up.
Yeah. It's basically between you and the Kraken is the best way to think about it.
And Hecaton is huge.
Yeah, he is a huge creature. The Kraken is gargantuan.
The Kraken's bigger than Hecaton?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I didn't realize that. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna start hacking.
Alright, hack
Hacking
away.
it up. That's another natural 20. Thank God for you.
Yep.
And 25.
25. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Alright, the 9 is a 18 damage. And the other one is... Ooh, that's not bad. That's 10, 20... So, 49 damage.
In total?
No, 68 damage total.
Okay. Nice. All right.
49
So that puts him at
way more than he needs.
another tentacle has been destroyed, but in the grand scheme of the creatures, it still looks completely not that bad off. It's not bloodied or anything. It has 8 tentacles now. As you're just hacking with all your ferocity, you just one big tree trunk like tentacle comes swinging with you, and with all your might, you just slam into it and chop off another tentacle. Anything else on your turn?
No.
All right.
No, because I had to use a bonus action arrow.
All right, legendary action. The Kraken is going to crush and destroy the 2 remaining Kurth pirates. Livy, you're now up.
Does that destroy our chances of leaving
What?
with those 2 pirates dead? Because don't need 8.
No, you can do up to 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. You don't need 8 exactly now. 8 was the best case scenario. Now it's just get out as many people as you can alive.
Gotcha.
All right, Livy, what do you got? You're 60 feet in the water to the east.
Yep, but she's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, boink.
Okay, that will put you basically, if you want, you can use an acrobatics to try to climb up the ship. Going to be pretty difficult unless you have any means to climb, because it's basically just like climbing up a slippery ship. No one's tossed down a rope or anything for you.
Oh, and I put the conch away just to let you know, back in my bag.
Back in your pack. Interesting choice. Good call, though, probably.
We'll have her attempt an acrobatics.
All right, do so at disadvantage then.
Disadvantage. Excellent. Oh, there's one, which...
Pretty good.
Oh,
Hey.
I got 18, so 26. Hey.
Yeah, so I imagine you pull out Maiden's Garden and shoot 2 quick crossbows doof, doof, into the side of the boat. You grab one and you begin to just climb your way up, making your way back to almost on the ship. Actually, no, you've 35 movement. It's water. Yeah, so yeah, you begin climbing up. You're not on top deck yet. Just because through water, you don't have a swim speed, so you would have technically moved half movement in water.
Oh, I was using Misty Step.
Oh, well then, you're fine. Yeah, then you have your full movement, you get back on ship. Cool.
Sweet. Just gonna hang out over here with Rock Levant and hopefully pew pew some tentacles later.
All right. Hecaton will yell out in Giant Octavius that we are at a disadvantage in this creature's home territory. We cannot fight this out in the open water. Where is the conch? He yells, and then he will chain attack twice at the creature. Wapa! Hitting and missing.
Can I answer him, or do I have to wait till my turn?
You can answer, sure.
I would yell out in common, "Give Hecaton the conch!" And I would use thaumaturgy if I had to let them hear me from so far away.
Okay. Is he immune to regular damage? Is that why it's not going on? What the fuck's going on here? Let me just double check. I don't think he's immune to it. Oh, he is immune to it. Damn. So yeah, Hecaton can't even hurt him, actually. Because he has no magical means. Or at least you haven't seen it weighted. So yeah, the chain attacks that against the Kraken are doing nothing to him. Which dramatically changes some things. That's not good. Alright. Next up is Benago Kurth. And he will yell out to the Kraken, "Slarkathal, you have took my men twice from me now. Settle this with me, once and for all. I will repay my debts to you." And he will cast earthquake on the ship.
On the other ship?
No, on his ship.
So the one we're on?
Yeah, and he will yell. He will yell to you guys that I think it is time for you to get out of here. And he's going to ready his action to cause the earthquake. Next up is... Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting legendary actions. Fuck, don't do this, or else I'll really underpower the Kraken. Legendary action. Tentacle attack onto you, Reich Liviant. 18 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, he rolled a natural 1, actually, so that's an auto miss. I didn't realize that. 18 is an auto miss for this creature. Fuck. That was his legendary action, so it's done. Next up is Octavius. You are 60 feet in the water away from the ship. No,
Again, I will,
go ahead.
Again, I will cast Thaumaturgy. And I will say, Warren, get them out of here. Get the conch to Hekaton. There's no point. You know what you have to do. And that's it.
All right. Are you going to swim or anything?
I am actually, at this point, going to cast Guardian of... Wait. Yeah, Guardian of Faith. Right above the Kraken.
Guardian of Faith. What the fuck is that? All right. So let's read it. You got so many spells that I'm so not used to. A large spectral guardian appears and hovers in front of the Kraken. The guardian begins to occupy the space with a gleaming sword and a shield emblazoned with the symbol of Ilmater. Any creature that is hostile towards you that moves to a space within 10 feet must save on a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 10 radiant damage on a failed, half
That's
as much.
20.
Nice. So on any creature that moves, moves into a space within 10 feet. Yeah, so it's there. So on the start of its turn, it's going to make the save, remind me. And it's going to take the wall of fire thing. Wait, is that concentration? I believe that's a concentration on a concentration, isn't it? Nope, it's not. Damn. Cleric's OP. Cool. All right, it is going to legendary action. Try to attack Kurth. Fuck, it rolled another natural 1. What the fuck? And then now it is up on its turn. It is going to... I gotta actually read the stat block a lot because it can do more than just tentacle attacks, and I'm kind of underpowering it by doing anything else.
Is this still legendary action, or is this turn?
It's his turn, so it's gonna make a dex saving throw for both of those things. Double dex saving throw, interesting. 19 and 18.
Okay, so it passes, but it still takes 9 damage. That's half.
Okay, and do your radiant damage also from your Guardian of Faith.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
That's
just
20 damage.
20, so half of 20. So another 10. Cool, 149. So as you burn away in this spectral guardian of Ilmater now imposes itself between you and your party, you tell them to run as the Kraken continues to take more and more damage but does not seem phased, and it is determined. It speaks out telepathically to you all and in a deep Cthulhu-esque voice that threatens to drive you mad, a voice that I cannot emulate, but it sounds foreign, yet for some reason you can understand it, and it's disturbing. And it tells you the giants have taken everything from you. The people you fight for have taken so much from you, and you begin to see images of all the things that have happened to you in your past. Octavius, you see your high father being murdered. You see Sunlit dying. Livy, you see your grandfather passing away. Everything, all the loss in your life, the people that you have fought for, and the Slarkathal tells you that if you side with him, He will help you burn the world down. I will turn you into my servants, causing you to be far more powerful than you could ever fathom, and we will burn this world and swallow it in the depths of the sea. And then it will take its action and begin to tentacle attack.
That's 9 damage per tentacle. That's through the wall of fire too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It will to. I think it's gonna cast a spell. What does it got here? Fuck. It is going to look at you, Reikliviant, in particular, as it probes through your mind, and it tells you the giants have killed your entire tribe of people. They have taken everything from you. You fight for nothing. You fight for the giants. Side with me, Reikliviant, and I will get your revenge. I will turn you into my servant, free from any emotion, free from any cause but my own, and revenge will be yours in this deep, grinding, guttural, demonic-like, otherworldly voice. What do you say, Reikliviant?
No, that's not right at all. And he points to fucking Warrenell. He said, "This is the man that got my village killed." And it says, "You're not enough for me," and resist, or at least tries to, or whatever is going on.
Then, if you will not see the truth of my power, you are of no use to me. And it will use a 9th level spell to power word kill you. And Reikliviant drops dead.
And I'm dead. Dead. Thanks, Chris.
Sorry, my man.
Can I raise dead him if I get over to him?
We will see.
Okay.
Warrendell, you watch
Oh, God.
Reikliviant drop to the ground lifeless.
Oh, my God.
Am I up or?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh. Who's right beside me?
Reikliviant, Livy, Kurth's in front of you, the wall of fire and the spectral guardian between him. There's 2 tentacles wrapped around Kurth, one around Storm King Hecaton, and and Octavios is very far away.
Livy's beside me. And how far away is Hecaton?
20
I'm not
feet,
sure what the
10
squares
feet, 15 feet.
Oh, not bad at all. Okay. I imagine I can't really pick up Reich, so. Livy, you have Misty Step left, yes? So in that case, make sure I have the spell slot. Yeah. I will reach down, grab a hold of Reich, getting that conch out of his pack, or at least make sure that's there anyway. And I will dimension door the both of us over onto Hecaton.
All right, you grab Reich's lifeless body, kind of Doctor Whoing out a portal of dimensional powers, and then you grab his body, walk through, bamfing out to Hecaton. He speaks out in giant. You don't understand him, but he's asking for something.
Yeah, I would be giving him the conscious, basically, anyway, so.
All right.
Assuming I can do so within the turn.
All right. Yep. You can do so within the turn. Reikliviant, unfortunately, has been taken down by a power word kill. Livy, you are now up. Kurth yells out to you, "Go, Livy. This is my battle to fight. This creature has taken everything from me."
She'll give a nod. And she'll cast a spell to hop over to Hekaton and Warrendale.
Hecaton is now up. You have an action. Do you want to maybe use your action to attack anything? There's a tentacle wrapped around Hecaton.
Right. It's a bonus action. Heck yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she will actually pull out her rapier and do 2 attacks on that right quick. Or I believe if I use my attack action, I can get my extra attack, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that didn't involve using a bonus. Okay, rapier. Okay.
One hit.
78.
What type of damage you want to do?
It's piercing.
Piercing. Okay. That is immune to the damage entirely.
Oh, right. It's not a magic. My bad. Whatever.
No worries. Unfortunately. All right. It will use a legendary action, but now the second that Kurth sees you off the ship, he's going to ready his legendary his action, and he slams his weapon, the Glaive of Fury, into the ship, into the tentacles. It pierces through the tentacle wrapped around him and begins to rumble. And in a moment of basically slow passing of time, you begin to see the Kurth, the ship, rupture and explode, and the water begins to tremble and open before him as the sea begins to swallow the ship. He actually creates a crack right in the plates of the ocean, and it begins to cause a whirlpool around the ship, sucking in the Kraken in him. The tentacles burst. Another one shoots out to grab Kurth. He jumps on it into the air and begins to just thrust his glaive towards the maw of this beast as they engage in combat. The ship now destroyed. Whirlpool ripping around. The Morkoth begins to get sucked into it. The creature is going to use a legendary action to grapple Kurth, swinging out its... Let me get this fucking idiot out of the initiative because he's not there anymore. Going to reach out and grab Kurth, hopefully with his tentacle. It rolls a 32 to hit. It does, grabbing him again, stopping the glaive from piercing into the eye of the creature. He's now grappled in the air and whipped up as the energy, the earthquake, begins to just tremble out from before him. Kurth is now actually up again, and he will yell out as he channels the earthquake even more powerfully. He can't knock the creature prone, but the longer he does, the plates on the depths of the ocean begin to crack even further, and the ocean itself begins to sink into it, causing a more and more furious whirlpool around it as you guys begin to start spinning around the creature. The ship, the Morkoth, begins to crack. I won't need a dexterity saving throw because you're all on Hecaton. As the ship begins to crack, Hecaton positions himself and steadies himself as the Morkoth is split into two. The tentacle side of it gets sucked underneath the ship and whipped around. Octavius, you are now up.
And swim dash to Hecaton.
All right. It's a potential, but you're going to need to make a athletics check.
That's not great, but okay. That's a 16.
16. You begin to swim, and you're swimming faster than you ever thought you could in plate mail, but then you realize you're caught in the current, and you begin to get whipped into the current and pulled in, and for a moment, it's just as the ship snaps off, and the tentacle that the ship is propelling itself by wraps around your leg momentarily and begins to pull you. You take out your warhammer, you slam into it, breaking free. You're able to cover a closer distance. You get to around here since you don't have a swim speed. With your dash action in the whirlpool. You are now a total of 20 feet away from Hecaton. The whirlpool threatens to pull you under, but you barely keep your head above water as you see the blank abyss of the fractured tectonic plates at the bottom of the ocean now opened up and swallowing the sea. Anything else on your turn?
Can I see the Kraken's tentacles going for the boat or going for Hecaton or anybody else again?
Right now it seems to be focused on Kurth. One tentacle is still wrapped around Hecaton, though. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start swimming back slowly and fall. I don't have an action because I dashed, right? So
Yeah.
oh yeah, never mind. That's it.
That's it for you? All right.
Yeah.
The Kraken will use its legendary action before its turns over to strangle Hecaton even further. Now, not blooding him yet, and then now he is up. It is going to bite into Kurth, rolling a 19 to hit. Kurth is now bloodied and badly injured. And does he get blind? Does this creature actually swallow him? Oh, Jesus. He goes into the mouth of the creature and is now restrained and is going to take some acid damage. Jesus Christ, this thing is scary.
The wall's still up too, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've got to make a save twice, actually. Thank you. I almost forgot. That's what I keep you around for. 2 dexterity saving throws. All right, natural 20 and a 24. So half damage on both.
6 on one.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, that was the wrong damage. So 7 on one and
10 on the other, because I think it's just a flat 20.
yeah, exactly.
All right. It will use its other attack on Hecaton to strangle the life out of him, rolling a 19 to hit. Hecaton should be able to withstand that, though, as no, he can't actually. So that is more damage to Hecaton. And then it's going to whip him again, hitting him once more. Okay, and then its turn's over. Warrendell, you're now up. Hecaton yells out in Giant to grab on. He looks like he's just about to blow the horn. What do you do?
So imagine I'm kind of like maybe next to or maybe even on top of Hecaton. Seeing Octavius run in this whirlpool starting to swerve around, just going to run across this deck or whatever I'm on and leap towards where Octavius is in the water. I can do a fly as a bonus action with my pendant, which I think is 120 feet or something like that. But I'll fly over to wherever Octavius Wren is, and then for my action, I believe you can cast a spell. So Dimension Door is a 3rd level, or 4th level spell. I have no spell slots in that, but I have a 5th level spell slot available. I can use that for that spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just use my 5th level spell slot to cast Dimension Door on the two of us back over to Hecaton.
All right. As you do that, it is going to use its legendary action to try to hit you, Warrendell, and grapple you away, actually, as you port back and have everyone now. You think it's only a matter of seconds before you escape. A tentacle... Go ahead.
With my ring, I will try to steal that damage from it hitting Warrendell.
Okay, so it's still going to hit him and grapple him, but on the damage goes to Octavio's 19. I will drag that onto you. Does that knock you out?
What was the to hit?
26.
That won't matter. Okay, just making sure shield wouldn't.
Octavios goes unconscious. You're grappled, Warrendell, but next up in the initiative is Livy. Anything you do before you get out? You see that Warrendell is grappled. Octavios passes out from the condition. The squeezing pain drawn onto him as you hear Octavios. Like you see the tentacles squishing Warrendell, but you hear the cracking of Octavios' ribs, and he just passes out. There's one more tentacle around the King Hecaton and one around Warrendell.
Are they all able to, is Warren touching
Everyone's touching King Hecaton right now.
Awesome. She's hanging on tight and ready for him to blow that conch.
All right. No attacks or anything?
Pew pew. Let's go, main guard. Let's see if we
All
can
right.
at least get some, the last word in, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
With this and hit maybe with 23?
Yeah, one hit.
Woohoo. do ice.
Ice. All right, cold damage. Is it immune to cold damage? It is not. All right, 12. I'm going to say that you burst the tentacle that's grabbing King Hecaton in unison with him. He just uses his muscles to push himself out. He grabs the conch and begins to, actually at will, he can levitate. So he begins to levitate above as the ship basically crumbles underneath and is sucked away. And then with one mighty blow of his lungs, he blows into the conch, and this massive horn sound goes off, and suddenly you feel a weightlessness and a whirling sensation as lights and blackness is whirling around you, and then suddenly you feel weight underneath. You feel floor as you all come down, soaking wet and exhausted and badly beaten. Hecaton lays you all down, and you look, and you're in the throne room of Maelstrom. And all around you is destruction and signs of battle and fallen giants and the signs of like destruction. As you look around, you do not see anyone living or anything. You see a shadowy figure on a throne. Sarissa still paralyzed in the middle of the throne room. And then as you look up and see the corridors and the rafters of the council in the massive throne room of the giants and the archway where the main doors where you originally pushed through and met Sarissa for the first time, you hear it screech open, shrieking, slowly being pushed, and the sound of a large booming footstep, slowly, sluggishly, boof, boof. A shadowy figure, large and dragging a weapon, exhausted from behind it, comes out, this shadowy figure, and then suddenly as the light finally illuminates his face, you see a badly beaten and bloodied Uthor, the uncle to Sarissa. His arm broken and wrapped, his eye badly scarred over from battle wounds, his armor broken and shattered. He lays down his sword and collapses and says, "Brother, you have returned," and then falls to his knees. And that is where we'll end the session. All right, that was a bit of an intense one. Nice job, guys. And then we survived. I didn't know. That was crazy. We're going to play again
Not all
soon.
of us survived.
Mostly.
Hey.
I have 10 hours, man. I have 10 hours.
Yeah, you're good. We'll pick up the random effects of that happening. But we'll find out that on the next time we play. So until then, to be continued. Thanks for watching.